Here we go. Go, 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 go. Here we go.
Hey guys.
Go, 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 go. Live.
Da, 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 da.
I'm ready for bed, I'll be honest with you.
All right, good night, everybody.
What time is it?
Definitely bedtime.
It's
Or
two-
at least early nap
It's
time.
2:44. Look how weak my arm looks. Look at how tiny this thing is.
Oh man.
I gotta start working out again, maybe. What do you think?
You gotta pick things up.
You think? No, well, then forget it then.
I mean, you can put them down afterwards.
I just working out is just looking at the weights
I mean,
and just working it out in your head and then being like, oh, my body's preparing to lift that.
that
But
kind
it
of
has
counts.
to adjust its molecular structure to be like, we can do this, buddy.
It's kind of like you're working out.
Why? How do you work
the
out?
brain. I actually lift the things. And I push.
No wonder
the
you're
things.
exhausted.
I mean,
No wonder you're sore.
Oh man, why is pulling this thing with a lot of resistance making my muscles hurt? Should it just happen?
Do you know why they hurt?
I'm assuming it's because the muscles are tearing, and that hurts.
Is it
Tiny little tears.
just tiny little tears?
A lot of tiny little tears. Because if it was a big tear, you'd be like, "Oh no, my muscle tear," and then you have to go get surgery.
You know why it tears?
I don't know. Why does it tear?
Because it can't handle the strain on the
Ah.
effort. And then it's telling your body, we need to heal this stronger so we can lift this particular effort. That's why they tell you to change it up, because if you just focus on one thing, your body will become adapt to that and
It'll
it
be
won't
like,
actually
"Ah."
grow.
Interesting.
It'll get to a point and just be like, oh, we're ready for this. But if you keep tricking it, that's how you establish even bigger sizes.
Then your body's just like, "Whoa, I don't even know what's going on."
What is this? Why do I have to work this out?
It's like, I don't want to. It's like, what? Can't we just like
Who is this
lay in
kid?
bed with our feet up? Ah,
I don't know, Killin' Jay. Probably because today we go over some stuff about how to be successful and things like that, and that's why YouTube was like, "Hey, this kid wants to learn how to be successful, so we're gonna watch it." But JD and I, we also have like casual conversations, so it's not just data. So we're
yeah.
not just like do these things, but we like to start the show off just comfortably getting into conversation, just to give you a little what see, what saw of what's going on.
Yeah.
There you go. I
Wait,
answered this question. Next. All right.
You
good
in the
night.
back.
Yeah, you in the back. You with the nice butt. What's your name, sir?
Greg.
Oh. I'll be going now. Anyway,
How you doing, Thomas?
did you know? Well, you know how to work because you work out. You probably have like a lot of knowledge in the world of exercise.
I mean, I definitely don't have anywhere near as much as a professional,
What is that?
because I have not done the research to have that
You just
depth of knowledge.
So what makes you work out? Like, what is the defining factor of like this is working, this isn't working? Like you're just like, this is good enough.
Pretty much, I like to just have an active regimen in general. I'm not necessarily trying to get big.
You just want to work out,
I just want to work out.
but you don't care about results.
I don't care about getting big. No.
Well, what is that? I don't understand what you're answering.
Well, we were talking about getting big and building muscle earlier, so my intention is not to get big and build muscle.
Well,
My goal is just to stay
what are
fit and
results
active.
to you though?
Staying in shape.
So you know what it takes to stay in shape.
I know what's been working.
What's been working? All right, that's fair. That's fair. Has it been working?
Yeah.
Do you feel good?
I do feel good.
How's your stomach?
Good.
Still 9-pack?
9-pack.
See, now we know you don't. You haven't been working out right. You need that extra little pack right there. It goes right in the middle. You press it. It goes.
Ooh, look, a little fanny pack.
Anyway, what's today's show about, JD?
It is what we desire most but can't seem to attain. How to obtain our wants.
What does that even mean to you? I know what it means, but I want to see what it means to you.
It means, what is it that we really, really want in life, but for some reason cannot get?
And
How to get them.
I like that you always answer the questions with what the subject is. It's like, so what is this car? And you're like, well, it's a vehicle.
It is.
But that's anyway, it's like, Dad, why is the sky blue? Because it's a color. that is not red. So when you see this, if I didn't give you any details, how would you take this information and utilize it to do something?
Hmm. I would see this as a question to ask myself, and
Oh, one
I would.
second, we got
Oh, we got a comment.
You know, Killing Jay, we are in the stock market. I also do teach how to invest in stocks. Yeah, it's a part of the financial aspect of what we do at the BBR Productions, consult, market, develop, teach people how to do things and create opportunity.
Yeah.
Stock market. Now, obviously, there's different variations of investment, but this show particularly is not going to be about investing. However, we do have topics that we do talk about when it comes to investing, and sometimes people hire us to consult them on that stuff. So it's pretty fun. But our area of expertise, though, is traditionally swing trading and not necessarily other options and stuff like that. But back to the subject at hand. And by the way, we love interaction from our audience.
We do love
it's pretty
questions.
exciting. So if you saw this, somebody gave you this as advice, like, hey, look, what is it you desire most, but you can't seem to attain, right? And then how do you obtain your wants? What does that tell you need to do? Like, what is that telling you to do?
Well, that would tell me to, one, analyze what it is that I actually want in life, and what are my long-term goals, what are my short-term goals, what are my SMART goals, and see if I'm actually doing those things. If I'm not doing those things, what is it that I need to change currently in my life in order to be able to, follow my dreams and aspirations?
All right, that sounds good, man. It sounds like it would work out for you. It sounds very very effective.
Very in depth, I know.
Yeah, we got another one from Killing Jay.
Oh, what do we got?
Killing Jay, what's up, man? I'm trying to learn. Okay. No, it's good. You should be learning because, believe it or not, some of the best ways to develop wealth is by investing into assets. Now, there are only actually 8 valuable, allowable assets in your existence, which would be stocks, bonds, mutual funds, intellectual properties, real estate to buy, sell, and trade, and also businesses to create, buy, and liquidate. And then you have IOUs, which is IO unto, which is basically lending money and getting it back at an increase. And then, of course, commodity. Now, commodity traditionally is gold, wheat, coffee, things like that. But we also consider your skills and who you are as an individual as a commodity. But with that said, again, today is more or less going to be about a very specific subject. We are not going to focus on the stocks. However, maybe we will do that next show or something like that, because I don't mind talking about stocks. It's very fun. Actually, JD's been making himself quite familiar with stocks lately. So maybe we could have him handle that show.
Oh man, we could totally try and see where that goes.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Oh, hey, look who it is. Ghost Ham. What's up, man? How's it going?
Howdy.
I feel like people tend to follow immaterial goals without having a clear idea of what they want. Is the vague idea of family, job security, high-paying jobs, but not actually having a roadmap. See that? That is the answer that I was looking for. That one right there.
He's got this.
He knows, he got it. This is very good. And you're right, man. You know, people
people tend to conform to what they believe their friends and family and society expect of them, and don't actually go out of their way to come up with their own aspirations.
But we are going to talk about some things about that today. And Killing Jay, awesome. That'd be great if you watch it. We'll be looking for you. Maybe you watch today, or maybe you learn something pretty interesting. But moving on. Anyway, what we desire most, but can't seem to attain. How do we attain those things? The thing is, we desire these wants more than our needs, which in turn throws off the balance to organize your life. And as Killing Jay says, he wants to invest into assets. You have to have a balance of life, and you have to sacrifice in the beginning to organize your money, so your money can start working for you in a foundation, and not necessarily just taking advantage of the money you earn and going, I just want to buy this, I just want to buy that. Let's see. Hey, boss. What's up, boss? YouTube just recommended this to me. That's because they love you and they want you to see what's going on. And we're going to be talking about actually, let's just get into it. All right. So when we focus on the things we want, these, as Ghost said, these intangible things, the idea is also like a musician or a writer or an actor. They just seek out, I want the success and I want to make a living doing what I love. But what does that even mean? That's not even a smart goal, let alone how do you grasp success, making a living, acting? What does that mean? Right? We haven't even defined the elements to even take hold.
There's no way to create a roadmap if we don't have the elements, clear in our heads.
You cannot make it. You have to have that roadmap. And the thing that allowed me to basically make a living within my field of interest is not to try to make a living in my field of interest, which is crazy because it's almost counterproductive, you think, right? But I focused on the business aspect of what I had to achieve, and instead of me focusing on how to obtain my wants, I started focusing on what I needed to give me strength, value, and opportunity to be rewarded my wants. And that change of the brain actually allowed me to grow my career and take advantage of a lot of things. Ghost hand. I love ghost hands. Our wants will always be trade-offs. We must have some stability to do the first move, even if is a first if it is as a first job as a fast food job. Every beginning is a valued one. That is true. You can learn something from everything, no matter how good or bad the experience is. However, I would agree that it doesn't matter what your first job is or where you're working and stuff like that. The idea to build that foundation is smart, though. But you can't just build a foundation if you don't know what that financial foundation number is going to be. If you're just working a fast food job, you're making some money and like, hey, I'm going to buy clothes, I'm going to buy music, I'm going to buy a car, I'm going to buy that, right? You're not really making a plan. You're just, I need this, I want this, and not everyone needs a car.
Especially if you're in a place like New York City.
More importantly, if you do need a car and you want an expensive one, those are two different things.
There's a difference between getting a car that'll get you from A to B that's affordable and getting getting a Maserati.
Yeah. Hi, Claudio. I am Thomas. This is
Hello, Claudio.
JDS. We're
Shalom.
So, in the beginning, when you're organizing, no matter if you have a job or not, whatever. If you have a good job or a bad job, or your first job is just working at a pizzeria, whatever the case may be, you should still know that what is my monthly average overhead and what is it I want to accomplish in life. And even if you're not 18 yet, let's say you're with your parents and you go, what is I want to do? Start understanding what your expenses are then. And even if you are 18 to say 20 or 18 to 30 and you still haven't made that leap because you don't know, you go, oh, I got this job, well, start trying to understand what would it take, right? That doesn't hurt you. It's not going to mess up what you're doing, right? What does it take financially to allow yourself to be free for a year and a half so you can focus on the industry of your choice?
How much do I cost for a year?
Yeah, what do I cost for a year? But not just what do you cost? What will it cost you to live and also afford that career opportunity? So that's important too, So for example, if you're an actor, you want to know what it costs to have those websites, Actors Access, casting networks, backstage, whatever it is you have to afford, which is part of the career, that business, right? If you're a musician, you need to know what it costs to travel to gigs or travel to a studio or upkeep of your equipment, right? So there are expenses to every opportunity, including people that want to be a teacher, right? You have teacher expenses. Well, what could they be? Well, clothes, travel,
car maintenance, travel maintenance. A lot of teachers actually go out of the way to supply for their students because it doesn't.
So you would think about it,
like the school itself.
But believe it or not, some of the things that people talk about that they most desire but can't seem to attain are not necessarily what we're talking about today. Some of it is, but some of it isn't. We're going to kind of go through it because I saw an article earlier this week that basically was talking about this, that people, they were asked what is it they desire but can't seem to obtain. And we're just going to go through a quick list and kind of talk about it. The first thing was actually happiness. This seems to be the number one answer for all categories. They had put it all over the internet, and it was like 100,000 people had answered the question, et cetera, right? And the thing is, happiness relying on things to grasp will always be out of reach or a challenge to hold for long periods of time. But what about happiness within you, within is already waiting for you, right? What do we got here? Ooh, what do we got?
Ooh, we got a comment.
We got Ghost Sand. My perspective is of a Brazilian lad. So maybe there's some differences from the US reality, but here every job counts since the cost of life is lesser. Any job can you give a heads up for a better environment? All right. Well, if you're living in a different country, I'll be honest. My understanding of how economics works in different countries, my focus of expertise is ultimately in the states. However, the structure of how to organize your life and how to organize that stuff is most likely comparable to other areas.
Yeah, the general idea, but not necessarily the specifics of how to go about within each system.
Yeah, for example, I don't know what the cost ratio between how much somebody earns in Brazil versus how much something costs, or even the living expense, your overhead, But the idea of understanding your overhead still is valid. The idea of earning that kind of money to survive for a year and a half is still a valid skill. It's still a valid tool to make your success.
Yeah, because no matter where you are, you're gonna have expenses on your rent or mortgage, cost of food, clothing, that stuff. It's always gonna
all those things happen. But going back to happiness as being the number one answer for things that people they desire it the most, but how do they obtain it? And the thing is, the majority of people, and something that Ghost Hand kind of like addressed slightly earlier, was that they rely on things. They rely on an experience. They rely on a person. They rely on stuff to be happy. And they're always trying to obtain that happiness just a little bit. Oh, that endorphin feeling is good. So they start doing things that make them feel good, right? And in turn, once those things stop, what happens? You're no longer happy.
Yeah. Right? Has there ever been any point in your life where you were looking for happiness outside of yourself? Because the entire time that I've known you, and even like just listening to you tell stories of like you when you were younger, you always had this perspective of like you knew who you were, you knew like you were comfortable with who you are, and like you just had that inner peace. Was there ever any time like when you were like really young where you looked for that outward happiness?
Well, when I was younger, I obviously wasn't suffering from chronic depression, but also I would say I was too young to understand the concept of value. Like if I owned toys, like for example, I had toys and I had friends play with the toys and they would break them and it didn't affect me in any way.
Interesting.
Right. But that means I didn't understand the value of the item I had, or that my parents had to work time and trade that time for money
so that they
and buy that thing.
Toy.
To me, it was just like, they broke it. That mentality kind of still sticks with me. Like, I don't care about things per se. So again, like I have told this story many times, when I lived in Mastic on Long Island, my car got broken into twice, and both times I didn't care. Like, I just didn't care. It was on me because I lived in Mastic. Right.
Fair enough.
2, I didn't have my doors locked because I had always grown up where
you didn't have to.
I didn't have to, nor did I care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, look, what am I going to do? I mean, it sucked, but I didn't care. Like, I was just like, I just shut my door. They left the doors open and everything, But because I have the chronic depression, I've always fought to find happiness and peace in me and not in things, because for me, for my chronic depression, it's a value aspect. Like, what's the purpose? Like, why am I here, or whatever the case may be, right? And which isn't for everybody. Not everyone suffers the same kind of mental attack, but some people do. But whatever. But for me, it's always like, what is my value? So all of my thinking has always been, how do I find my value? Because I know that for me, my brain is aware that my chronic depression is telling me one thing, and my logic brain
is telling you something completely different.
And by logic brain, I mean that I am literally diagnosed as chronic depressed. So I have a chemical imbalance, which it affects the logic. So I'm not saying that someone with chronic depression is illogical, but I am saying that the brain is fighting my logic brain, because I know I have value, but my brain is saying, no, you don't. So I just started accepting the truth, even if I'm like in a downward spiral, I still am like, right. And I know that things can't make me happy. You know, I could eat as much pizza as I want, and it'll never be happiness. It'll just be momentarily, you know, delicious. So to answer your question, I've never actually found value or joy in people or things like to satisfy my happiness. People make me happy, but it isn't my happiness. If that makes sense.
Yeah, so they trigger the happiness, but ultimately you're aware that like the happiness is coming from within you.
Well, yeah, like I'm happy when I'm happy. You know, sometimes I'm not happy, but I'm happy. But
when you are happy, you're happy.
Yeah, but people can make me happy, but they are not in turn my happiness. They don't influence if I am happy or not happy. It's just some people have that ability to make me happy, but if they leave, I'm not like, oh, there's everything.
Yeah.
But we got some more ghosts in. What we got here? A certain level of not caring is necessary. Otherwise, we would go insane. The thing is knowing what's really important, and we must cherish and try not to break. I agree with that. And to add to that, he continues with, as a fellow with huge chemical imbalance, I get you. All right, goes in. Welcome to the welcome to the team. Woo! So yeah, and but maybe that not caring, and when I say not caring, it doesn't mean I don't care. It just means I have a higher tolerance for the inaction or the craziness that happens around me. But I think it's because of the chronic depression that it allows me to say, if I care too much, that might fuel when I'm having an episode.
Interesting.
So I try to not turn off the emotions, but regulate what happened.
I gotcha.
Like when the car got broken into, I was like, my car, oh my God, what did they take? Because I know I don't have anything in that car worth value. I also know that I never purchase a valuable car. You know what I'm saying? Like all my cars that, like, other than the van because of the band, like that was a business expense. All my cars were like $2,000, maybe $2,500 US dollars less.
It was just like, it'll get me from A to B in a local commute. I don't ever need to drive long distances unless it was the van, which is why you're like, we'll put some extra money into this so we know we're not going to break down in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. And even that was like, what's the bare minimum to get this car?
We don't need electric windows.
Yeah. It was a $30,000 van that I got for $18,000. So I still, what I'm like?
That is a deal.
Yeah, it was a deal. I got the guy fired by accident. Because I outsold him to sell me the van, and they upgraded it. They fixed everything. They fixed the axle system. They put a new door on. It was so funny.
Do you remember which one it was? Was it
Chevrolet off of Chevy over by
I meant like what van you got.
Oh yeah, I got a Chevy.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so in my head, like already, I'm like, even if they stole my car, I'd be like, it was $900. I'll have to work to save up the money. Like I have insurance, yeah. So I had to like backtrack, and that's what I do. I kind of like, I value the situation. But anyway, so I've always worked very hard to find the happiness within. Like what makes me happy being me, not necessarily what things make me happy. And as far as being able to not care, again, it's not a sense of not caring, it's just value rating. Like what is the value of this? How does it influence my life? Am I, like, for example, the car got broken into, I knew there was nothing valuable in it other than some change that I used to leave in my my ashtray.
Yeah.
Because,
that's what ashtrays are for.
Yeah. And I open it and I go, oh, all the change is gone. And I was just like, all right. Like I still had the car, no windows were broken, like I get it. All right, good. Like I value.
It's like, you went into my stuff.
Yeah, it happens, son of a bitch, but what are you going to do?
Shake your fist.
After the second time, though, what did I do? I moved. I didn't lock my door. I don't want to have to lock my door.
You're like, I'm out.
I just moved. I go, not that I just moved, but.
You're just like, well, I don't want to be around this all the time.
I was like, I got to move. This is ridiculous. But what are your thoughts on that? Why do you seek happiness? Or are you happy?
That is something.
Because you work out.
I do work out. It helps in
And
the morning.
you write music that it transcends the soul
For my soul.
to fall asleep.
Listen, everybody needs some lullaby music. Lullaby.
Why does he keep working on that same part? That was the whole 4-minute song. Oh, great. Can I hear the next one?
Yeah, no, I definitely have a history of seeking happiness in things and in other people.
How's that working out?
It has definitely been a struggle throughout most of my adolescent and adult life. I've always just kind of suffered with and wrestled with self-conscious, just like self-esteem issues. I've never really put a lot of weight behind me and my wants. And anytime
just behind your arms,
and sometimes my toes.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah, because you gotta make sure your calves are good so you can walk to.
Yeah, if you have good calves, I mean, those calves can carry lots of weight. You know, because
they can, and
even though they're baby cows, they have.
Listen, everybody you just gotta make sure they're not too tough because then the veal is gonna be gross.
Some of them are spotty at best, but
you're really milking this.
Yeah, I got okay. All right. So you found yourself trying to find happiness in others and
another in things.
Yeah.
And and I for most of my life I've never really fully committed to things that I wanted, and anytime that I did, I always did it like half-assed and then not really well thought out because I just didn't put value into what it is that I wanted to put in that kind of time. Does that make any sense?
But also, you're literally saying what this episode's about is you put time into things you wanted. And wanting is still seeking outside of self.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to make songs. I want to do this. I want to tour. I want to write a book. I want to, whatever it is. Those wants aren't necessarily going to make you happy. You might, or more importantly, they won't bring you happiness. They might make you happy, but they're not going to bring you happiness.
Agreed.
And some of the things is about, I've noticed, especially as a consultant, a majority of my clientele, especially because like I believe I try to help people starting out or people that just like are jaded and they're just like, I don't know what to do. It's been 10 years. But I have worked with people that have been doing it and they don't really need this particular help, which is interesting. Not that they don't deal with sadness but in the people that I deal with in the beginning all have the same kind of mentality, and I'll get to that in a second. But the people that are successful, they give time to self. So some of the things they do is like JD works out, but they don't just work out to work out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a part of their time. So if they're married, that's their alone time. You know, because when they're with their family, they're present. But they're like, this is an hour of my time. Or, if they, sometimes they, like, I don't know about you, but I like to go to dinner by myself sometimes. Alone time is good. It's recalibrating yourself. It's recharging yourself. And what I'm saying is the people that I deal with mostly starting out or who are jaded, they forget that part. They think their alone time is working on their craft. But that's not alone time.
Because you're still doing something.
Yeah, your brain is focusing on something else, not you. It's not you checking in with yourself, going, what are my needs? What are the things that I feel I could better myself with because I feel I'm being drained by this? It's okay to check in with yourself once in a while. And with somebody that's chronic depressive, I had to learn to do that just in general. But I learned from my mentors, too, that that's important. It's important for success because if you check in with yourself, you're able to say, where am I? Am I happy doing what I'm doing? And you could also be like, let me keep going. I'm good where I am. Let's keep going. But you might be like, I'm not good where I am. I feel like I'm overdoing it. Let me pause. Let me try something else. So it's good to reevaluate.
You need to be aware because you are the most valuable resource because you're literally the one doing everything.
But with that said, also, if you believe your career and your success is going to be based on you because you value yourself, that will also help you fail. Because no matter how awesome you are, your success is not about you other than you to take action. It's about the people you surround yourself with. So you have to kind of balance that out too. But happiness is about a balancing act anyway, like learning what is good for you and also the things you like to enjoy doing. But if you focus on doing those things because it makes you feel good, you will forget about the important part, which is you in that equation. Let's move on to the next thing. Money was the second most. Now, money is a physical thing, but money is not real. Obviously, money could buy things, but we as a society, we as a culture have given value to money. But the concept of money and the money itself, could tomorrow the whole world can be like, no, I'm not accepting money anymore. What? But I want to buy this. Why? I want you to do jumping jacks.
It costs 5 high fives.
Yeah. That was 4. Son of a bitch. So money, when is enough? Wait, when is enough? When more will not fill the desire. That's right. So when is enough? When more will not fill the desire. And that's the thing. Like, we don't set limits on our money. Right? So earlier I said to create your foundation, you need to really know what your overhead is. What does it cost you per month on average on a budget?
Not, oh, I want to get this, I want to get that.
Yeah.
Like, you're talking about bare minimum. What does it cost to
bare minimum, but to
like, how much are you spending on food each month?
Yeah, I'm not saying eat ramens
rent?
all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the bare minimum in the sense of not depriving yourself of health?
Yes.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because like
you don't have to eat out every day, but like, how much does it
well,
cost?
no, if you want to keep that relationship going. Hey, anyway,
well.
So the government says that you could survive on some ridiculous number, and it's like if you eat ramen and like, you know, anyway,
that's ridiculous.
But you do need to know what your livable monthly average overhead is. Now, obviously, your overhead might be higher than what you can afford, and there's 2 choices in that. One, budget down, cap out your expenses so they fit within the money you are earning, or get another job, either in addition to the job you have or a better job. And I know that sounds crazy. How do I get a better job? But the thing is, sometimes we have to sacrifice. But if you sacrifice correctly and you absorb that penalty, the penalty being like, I'm not able to do what I want to do right now, and you do it for like a year or 2 years, and you organize the money and just don't spend more than you have to, and you start having an influx of money, and you start realizing, oh, I'm having a surplus. Don't buy more because you have the surplus. Allow that surplus to basically start being something you could organize into security, growth, and dreams. So you can protect yourself, invest in yourself, and of course, reward yourself. And once you start taking back control of money, you'll be able to ultimately raise your overhead. You'll see that, like, if you can consistently, right? Like my thing is, if you have like 3 to 6 months in your foundation, your financial foundation, you're allowed to utilize the 60-40 split, which makes any money you earn over that safety net be split. 60% goes into security, growth, and dream, and then the 40% goes back into your financial foundation. But if you can hit 18 months the second time, meaning like, you know, once you have your 18 months, you could basically just focus on whatever it is you want to focus and try to make a career, a livable career out of that. But once you hit 18 months again, what you could do is you hit that 18 months and then you divide it by 9 months.
Ooh.
And now you have 9 months protecting you, which means you're still over your 3 and 6 month safety net, but you just increased your overhead.
Now you have to save up to get that amount to 18.
And once you get to 18 again, and I don't just mean hit 18, I mean hit 18 and kind of like, like, you know, have a
minimum of 18.
Minimum 18. You could do it again. Boom, 9 months, and you'll notice you're starting to absorb a different lifestyle.
You're like, oh, I can afford to do more things and live more comfortably.
Yeah, but still be budget. Just change your budget to, you know, and you always want to be able to have that surplus.
Eventually, you'll be able to have a jacuzzi on every level of your house.
Yeah, which, by the way, that reward account, that, you know, security, growth, and dream, the dream rewards you. So when
those jacuzzis,
when it's allocated to the right amount of money over your expenses, you'd be like, oh, I got enough money to go on vacation. Boom. But the thing is, I will say this: those who want more money need a few things. A, how does money even work? You got to know that, right? B, are you willing to sacrifice wants now to take back control of your finances? And C, manage and organize your money, which is literally everything we just said. right? And that's the thing. We desire money, but we shouldn't be desiring money. We should be desiring outcome. And how will we organize that money? How will we sacrifice to get that money? And basically, what is it about money that works? Because if you're just hoarding money, you're not using money. And that's why the security, growth, and dream exists. So you can basically protect yourself, invest in yourself, meaning invest into assets, and then ultimately reward yourself. Money isn't designed to pay your bills. If you have that mentality, you will always be trapped in paying your bills. You have to get to a point where your money is over your living expense by those 3 to 6 months, and you are able to take that surplus and start organizing it. And once the money's organized, you can start utilizing it, and that will help you get out of that. And now you are focusing your desires on results and not necessarily just money. Because if you get $1,000, you're like, oh, like when you get your tax return, oh, I got $2,000. You don't just go buy a car.
Or like 8 pairs of Air Jordans.
Yeah, or we could go on vacation. Like you don't do that. No, you go. Let me put that back into my financial plan.
You're investing it into the business of yourself.
Yeah.
So this way you can grow and do more things that you want to do, either business wise or eventually reward wise. But first, you have to allocate the money properly.
That's right. What is the third thing?
The third?
Don't look. What do you think the third thing is?
I have no idea.
How do you not know?
Hold on, wait. Nah, I still don't know.
All right.
I tried reading your mind. It didn't work.
Please don't read my mind. All right.
Oh, God, why are there so many naked ducks?
Because I'm always trying to get my ducks in a row.
Cheo.
And they fit better when it's anyway.
Oh, yeah, take the blessed
Ducks
space.
have huge penises. I don't know if you know that.
Oh my God, it's like ridiculous.
Yeah, they're just
like.
That's how I know you are not a duck.
I mean, I definitely
not because you don't have a bill, because you have lots of bills.
I do, and it's not because of the web feed either.
No, it's definitely not about the web feed. However, that you should get an operation on. Freedom, that feeling of freedom to pursue your purpose. Now, we talked about this earlier in the show. A financial freedom of 18 months is the starting point to obtain freedom. Generate passive income through organizing your money flow to create wealth. Wealth is the amount of time you could go without having to recoup your income. There you go. I defined everything. However, people just want freedom to pursue the thing. I wish I could just write music all day. I wish I could just write a book all day. I wish I could just act all day. Those are not true goals. They're just desires.
They are.
I just wish I could read all day. I wish I could watch TV all day, right? Those again are not, that's not freedom. Those are desires. Freedom allows you the choice to do things and to fuel your purpose by adding value to your life. And if just writing music all day is the value to your life, you have to earn that right. And to do that, you have to be able to afford your life. So you have to sacrifice a little bit until the system of money is fueling your purpose.
So this way you have earned the right to do that.
Yeah, and you'll find the freedom to pursue whatever you want. But also, something you should think about is maybe the things you want to pursue to feel the freedom should be the thing affording you that right. So, for example, when people ask me, what do I do to relax as a hobby? I go, I don't have hobbies.
Because you're doing what you love.
Yeah, I literally get paid to do what I love. Like I even on the artist side, like I get paid to write. And I love that. If I didn't get paid to write, that's what I would do on the side.
You would write.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, let me write today. And I would write. But I get paid to write. But I also get paid to write my own stuff. Why? Because I can afford my overhead doing the thing I love. So what I do pays for me.
Yeah.
Which is insane to even think, because at one time or another, I did work at a pizzeria.
You did.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, this is life. I got to trade my time. I get $2.50 an hour. This is, if I work my entire life, I can buy candy.
$2.50.
Well, I was 12.
I know, but like the fact that was acceptable minimum wage when you first started working still blows my mind.
What was 1990? It was off the books.
Yeah.
I was technically making more
What?
than someone who made $2.50 an hour, because it was off the books.
That right there is blowing
right. Because what is that? If somebody made $2.50, it would be like they made $3.75 or something like that, right?
Maybe.
Right, like after tax. It doesn't matter.
Well, New York.
in New York, they're like, we're gonna tax the trees, but I don't own trees. They're on your property, so we got air tax. What the hell's going on here?
We have an acorn tax.
We have
Every acorn that falls,
oh,
half
you
a
have
penny.
3 squirrels. We took
a squirrel tax.
squirrel tax. We did went around, had people ask some questions. Anyway, so freedom's important, but again, desiring freedom is not desiring results. How do we reach freedom? We have to remember that we need to influence our entire lives. But some of the other things is I'll rattle them off because peace, joy, balance, fulfillment, and confidence. Now, confidence is something you desire.
Yeah.
Let's talk about confidence for a little bit.
Yeah.
Confidently. Do you know what a confidence man is?
I'm assuming it is a person that is confident.
No, they're con artists.
Oh?
Confidence man.
So a
con artist or a con man. Did you know that?
I did not.
See?
I learned something today. Now. Wait, what?
Huh? So what do you feel you're not confident in? Obviously that shirt, but like
I love this shirt. It's one of my favorite shirts.
See, you're confident. Moving on. Fulfillment.
I'm cured. Mazel tov. L'chaim, everyone.
Confidence.
Sprachen Sie Deutsch?
What? I don't speak French.
What?
So
okay. Quoi?
Well, you're gonna have this conversation or not?
Yes.
Did you hold the sign up? I don't know what's going on. Oh, by the way, speaking of confidence, how is the the tug and chug going?
Definitely still in the middle of research. I'm trying to collect the tug and chugs into a vat.
Yeah. Are you tasting it at least yet? Like
not yet.
I think you should. You'll come around. All right. So confidence. What do you feel you don't have confidence in?
Myself.
Yeah, but what about it?
Literally everything.
You don't feel confident in it. So when you pee, you're like, I'm gonna miss this toilet bowl.
And I'm pretty confident at that point. I have confidence in my ability to aim where I'm peeing.
Yeah, but you know what's awesome about how you have to aim? You have to kind of get like this like rainbow loop, because you're so short to get up.
That is accurate.
You know what I'm saying?
There have been many a urinal where I've had to do that.
That's funny. Oh, what do we got? I didn't know that. Good to know.
Yeah.
Who? I didn't know that. What is that in reference to? And good to the confidence man. The confidence man.
Oh yeah.
I'm on board. The comments sometimes take a second. But anyway, hey, thanks for watching on Facebook, everybody.
Woohoo! Hi, everybody.
Hi, you all, everybody.
We've got
no. It's from Lost. You all, everybody. Anyway,
never seen Lost.
Yeah. You're lost right now. Let's get back to confidence. So you're confident you can get the rainbow spray into the toilet, but
I'm confident in that only because I've had a lot of practice, and
that's
necessity has made it so that
Well, what else? What do you feel? Why do you feel you're not confident, and what is it that keeps you from being confident? Because I am extremely unconfident.
You're very confident.
You know why?
Because you believe in yourself.
No, that is not why.
Then what is it?
Because I know I'm right. That's it. That's where my confidence comes from.
Fair enough.
Because I don't question myself.
Oh, I question myself all the time.
But I know that I have the knowledge. There's some things I am not confident about. Like if we were talking about like
molecular
stuff,
biology.
No, I'd be confident with that. I do have hobbies. I may have lied. But my like if we were talking about, I don't know, Jupiter.
You'd be like, I don't have enough data.
I have enough data to be confident about Jupiter because of our conversation. I did a deep dive into Jupiter. So I know a lot about Jupiter.
But specifically Jupiter.
Yeah, like the Uranus, I haven't even seen yet. Mostly because you wear pants.
Most of the time.
But that's where my confidence. I know what I am talking about. I know what I am doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? But you go ahead. How come you don't feel confident?
Because I just have a habit of questioning myself and my abilities, which has been ingrained into me ever since childhood, which has been something that I have been working to overcome for a really long time.
How's that going for you?
I mean, better than it was, say 10 years ago.
What do you do to try to beat the confidence?
To beat the confidence or be confident?
No, to beat the confidence. Like,
What?
because it doesn't seem to be working with you. So you got to beat it into submission so that's working.
No, it's to be confident or the lack of
No,
the
to
lack
beat
of,
it, beat it up.
I don't want to beat the confidence up. I do.
See, you're not even confident enough to beat up the confidence.
I do beat up the confidence. That's the issue.
All right. So what can you do to be confident?
Start positive affirmation, telling myself that I can do things. And when
I don't
catch
agree
myself,
with that.
when I start catching myself questioning my abilities, make sure that I do not just go, "Oh, I can't do this."
See? No, I'm not on the page. I think that would actually do something more harmful.
Well,
it'll fuel the I am right brain. See, there's a difference between knowing you are right because you're an expert or you've mastered something.
agreed.
For example, I am not a master mechanic. My brother is. So if we both were asked a question on the car, I would simply go, you should ask him. Confidently, I would say that. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't
Which
even
makes
try
sense.
to answer because I am confident I do not know the answer. But if you mislead yourself in that same situation, someone asks me a question and I go, oh, maybe I don't know the answer. You know, why wouldn't I know the answer? I know the answer. I know I can answer this good enough to help them, even though there's a master mechanic necessary. Let me answer this. You're now fueling the I am right brain, which is not confident building.
I agree. So that is a bad thing to do.
That is a bad. So, but what you're saying is that when you're trying to reinforce your doubt, you're reinforcing doubt. You're not actually fixing the doubt. Do you understand? Because to fix doubt, it's not about saying, no, wait, I probably know this.
No, that's not what I was saying.
What were you saying? Repeat.
What I was saying is that I question myself.
You have to question yourself.
I'm telling myself I should not question myself.
You should question yourself.
In my abilities. So if I don't know something, let's say I'm doing something or learning something for the first time.
Like right now.
Yes. My brain most of the time will just be like, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to understand this and I won't even try. Whereas I need to start telling myself, oh, I have no idea if I can, I could probably, if I try something new, I need to tell myself that I have the ability to learn. That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's a very specific thing.
But that is a positive affirmation saying, I have the ability to understand this or to learn this.
Yeah, but
if I don't understand something, I have to be confident to be like, I don't understand this. Go to this person. I'm not saying that like, oh, I don't know this. I'll pretend to know this and build fake confidence. I'm not saying that at all. No, I'm saying that I need to give myself more credit in the ability to learn new things or to do new things.
You said do things.
That's what I'm saying.
In that situation, though, I believe it's not considered doubt. Like where if you're like, oh, I'm learning this new thing, no, I'll never be able to do it.
I'm doubting my abilities.
Maybe you are doubting your abilities, but
for those listening audio, he's processing. There's smoke coming out. He's a little hamster.
You're doubting your ability in that situation.
So that is just a common thing that I've dealt with most of my life is that I just doubt
though. Like you're doubting yourself.
And I need to stop.
But is that situation doubt?
Wait, what?
Do you know what I'm saying? Like you are, again, I am attracted to person A, but that does not mean they are attractive. I'm trying to figure out if you doubting yourself, your abilities, does that necessarily make the action itself doubt? The definition itself won't work in this. Looking up the definition. We're trying to look at action versus perception. So if you perceive yourself as the doubt, right? Because I'm trying to understand the action of doubt versus the perception of doubt. That's where I'm questioning. One, I think, is because you can doubt yourself, right? Which is the perception. Right?
Well, doubt,
because you're doubting your perception of your ability.
Well, wouldn't doubt just be that the perception is that you are in the perception of doubt? Or am I not understanding?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the mental aspect is doubting, but the action to do, I don't think is doubting. is what I'm saying.
Maybe. I don't have enough data.
Like if you're like, oh man, I can't learn this new thing, and then you have to like talk yourself to do it.
I have to talk myself into having confidence to learn to do it.
Well, the confidence is that you can do it, not that you could do it. That's a different, like, oh, you could do this. Like, that's not necessarily confidence. Confidence is you wouldn't even have to talk to yourself. You would just be like, I can do this.
Yeah, what I'm saying is I have to talk myself into having confidence. So most of the time I do not have confidence because I doubt myself. So I have to reaffirm that there's literally no data saying that I can't do this. So there's an equal chance.
Well, there's
that I
lots
can
of data saying you can't do it. Not you in general, but like anybody. There's tons of data because you haven't done it yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You don't know if you can do something.
Correct, but I also don't know if I can't do something. So what I'm saying is that if I want to try to do something, I shouldn't automatically tell myself that I can't.
Well, that's true. You shouldn't tell yourself you can't, and confidently say that.
Yes,
like, I can. But also, it doesn't mean you can do it.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? Which goes back to what I'm saying is like it's a false confidence.
Interesting.
You are all right. I have gotten to you are indeed in that moment still fueling the I am right brain because you're saying I can do this. You're trying to convince yourself you can do something.
No. I'm not saying I can. I'm saying I can learn.
But that's not true. Just because your doubt is saying I can't learn, right? Is that what you're saying? You're saying your doubt is like, oh, you have no, right? And you're saying no, I can learn. That's a mistruth. Because you haven't learned it yet. We don't know if you can learn.
I see what you're saying.
But you can try. And that would be the confidence. I'm going to try even if I fail. That's the confidence.
I see what you're saying.
But that's where I was, because like what you were saying, like I was like, wait a minute. So that's the action aspect, right? You're just fueling the I could do it, like
I see what you're saying.
But there's no evidence that you can. You can try anything, right? And that's where the confidence starts. Like, let me try even if I fail. That's confidence. But not who says I can't learn? I can learn this. No, that's a lie. You can't learn it because you haven't.
There's no data saying that you can.
There's no data saying you can. Now, if someone said, hey, can you try a different guitar style? There's a plausible chance you can because you have the background for it. And you'd probably go, well, I could do that because I can try it, even if you don't get it. But you would keep trying it until you got it, right?
Correct.
That is confidence, right?
That is confidence.
And you're not misleading yourself like, oh, man, I could
going off of data and not just assuming.
Yeah, the data is you have practiced guitar so much that you were able to learn it. And therefore, you have the skill and the ability, the tools to manipulate it to be something different, right?
Gotcha.
So in that situation, you don't even say, well, maybe I could learn this, right? You don't have to like convince yourself to learn it. You're just like, oh, it's music. I know how to play music, right?
Yes.
So now we also learned you have confidence.
Yes, I do have confidence in certain things.
Yeah, in certain things, right? So there we go. So, but again, like there are to change your brain, focusing on the manipulation to get through something is more damaging than acknowledging it truthfully. So again, if there is an expert next to me, or even like if there's something I'm going to try, I know in my head, the confidence is I do not know this. So I have to try and learn it, but it doesn't mean I'm going to learn it. So I wouldn't tell myself I can learn this because I don't know yet. But I'm fueling my confidence by being honest with myself. But I'm also not saying I can't learn it.
You're giving yourself the confidence by acknowledging that you're going to try, and whatever happens is what happens.
Yeah, the outcome is inconsequential to me. If I learn it, I learn it. If I don't, I don't. But I also have a very confident resolve. So my plan B, C, D, E, and F is always just how do I find another way to plan A? So even growing up, when people are like, you need a plan B. I was like, I do have plan B. My plan B is how to get to plan A, right? So if I can't learn something, right? Like I try and I try, I won't stop trying to learn it. I will just stop trying to learn it that way. And I'm confident because I go, I don't feel devalued because I can't learn it that way. I just go, well, this is something I want to learn. So I have to find a new way to learn it. And I use my entrepreneurial brain and I find a solution. So that's
proactive effort.
In a proactive effort. But that's confidence. Confidence is being willing to accept the truth and not manipulate the truth to fit your agenda, because that fuels the
I am right brain.
The I am right brain, which, by the way, isn't always somebody saying I am right. It's just the how do I make it so I am right? Right? Because I can learn this is I am right. Right?
Yes.
That statement. But the person saying that has not been, that's not true.
Because there's no data.
And it's manipulating your brain, which does what? How can I not learn this? I know I can learn this. Why can't I learn this? And then what do? You keep hitting that wall and you keep doing the same thing. Oh, not you. I'm saying
in general.
In general.
The royal you.
The royal you. The I am right brain manipulates confidence. And because you believe you can learn it, right? Because this is what you were saying, where you're like, oh, I tell myself, well, who says I can't learn this? I can learn this. Let me learn this, right? If you have that mentality, you're gonna hit a wall and be like, that's impossible, because I can learn this. Instead of acknowledging you can't learn it this way, which is confident, by the way.
It is confident.
I can't learn it this way. Let me try a different way. Right. So those are different methods to retraining it. But to appease the inability is dangerous. I learned that early on with psychology. You're supposed to, when I say change your brain,
yes,
you don't change it to fit your agenda.
You change it to acknowledge the truth. You change it to acknowledge that there's possibilities for things, and that you should always encourage yourself to try new things and to change, to grow.
Not that you should encourage yourself to try new things. That's not necessarily confidence, but that it's important to encourage yourself to want to learn, right?
Yeah.
But that isn't necessarily a confident thing. But the thing is, you should. The confidence is the willingness to fail.
Because statistically speaking, you're going to fail more times than you succeed.
Yeah, maybe you. But
listen, not all of us are, interdimensional gods for another plane of existence.
I won't actually. A funny story about that.
Last 4th of July.
Last 4th of July. The thing is, the confidence aspect is that I don't care if I fail, because I know that it will not influence my value. That's confidence. Some people call that arrogance, but I think arrogance is adding the I can't be wrong mentality, the I am right.
I'll agree with that one.
Where it's like, it's this. And you're like, man, he's confident. And you're like, oh, no, it turned out not to be that. It is. Trust me. You're like, what? No, literally, it's not working. Then somebody else changed the password. That's arrogance. That's not confidence to me.
That is definitely arrogance.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that more than anything, especially when it's on a redhead. Curly redhead, fake redhead girls. Son of a bitch. Okay.
You're like,
I'm depressed.
Anxiety's kicking in.
Okay. Do you want to talk more about confidence? Do you care?
I'm following.
Do you have anything else you want to add to that?
I mean, no, we pretty much we covered it. You asked me, what it is that I struggle with, and then we explored, how one should actually embrace confidence in order to grow and move past any self-doubt.
Do you understand the psychology behind the different methods, though?
Yes, because the way that I expressed it, it has the danger of going, it has the danger of leading down an arrogant path, whereas the way that you explained how confidence should work is whatever the consequences are, it is what it is. You're just accepting them and you're just comfortable moving forward.
And again, one of those consequences could be, wait a minute, there's an expert next to me. I'm not even going to attempt to answer this, even though I have clear data in my head of the subject.
But the person who has more data will be the one who will answer your questions.
Which is not arrogance, because I don't need to answer it. They're the expert. And that is confidence too. That is a consequence, by the way. It's allowing that they have to know more than me.
By definition.
They are literally the expert. I read 3 books.
Like, I can do an oil change, but they have literally been building and taking apart cars since they were 3.
Yeah, I could do an oil change by paying $30.
$30, here you go.
Anyway, let's try fulfillment.
Ooh.
Fulfillment.
Is this like double stuff fulfillment?
This has nothing to do with that question I asked you the other day when they were full.
What is even the biology behind this? It's like a tube of toothpaste.
I was busy this week. I have bills I gotta pay. I am not confident I got an STD. No, wait, I am confident I got an STD.
I'm just gonna go lie in a burning shower of fire.
Hey Tom, I know why it burns when I pee. All right. Fulfillment.
Story.
What would you like to define fulfillment as? What else? Can you elaborate on that? Can you expand? Can you expound?
I would say having inner peace and happiness is the best.
Fulfillment.
Feeling that all of your goals have been.
So you're saying happiness and peace combined would be fulfillment?
I would say that, yes.
So happiness on this list, peace is also on this list.
But having them together, I think, would be fulfillment.
Would be the fulfillment.
Because you can have, because we were talking earlier about how a lot of people said that they're looking for happiness, for happiness, and then having the several offshoots about talking about like people struggling with, say, like their emotions or like some sort of like mental
What's an
health
emotion?
kind of thing. It's those things that robots have.
Can I buy them?
You can.
All right.
If they usually get a discount if you get like a dozen or a baker.
I could be happy. I could be happy. Who says I can't be happy?
Listen, happiness is overrated.
All right, keep going. I'm sorry.
I think if you get both of those things. 5 minutes.
We're going over time.
I'm getting the light.
We got an hour and 15 minutes. You're going over.
7 minutes.
7-minute warning. How long's your set? 6. Hey, you got a 6-minute set. What are you doing? I'm giving you a 7-minute warning.
Why is there a hook coming off the side of the stage?
It's so crazy.
What was it saying?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think having happiness and peace together creates that sense of fulfillment, because those are the 2 things I think a lot of people just in general in life are looking for, because they're don't necessarily know where or how to find them.
Now, see, what's interesting is you're both right and wrong.
Oh,
fulfillment is a self-objective discovery.
How so? Well, are you saying is it self, like in the way that happiness is also self?
Exactly. All these things are.
Oh.
You're supposed to be confident in yourself. You're not supposed to have external confidence. Well, if I'm with this girl, I feel confident.
Hey. The dog is like walking around all weird.
I think there's a human upstairs. It's not even.
I mean, he is like a human.
It's a little early. Anyway, someone upstairs. So fulfillment, like all these things on here, is a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's whatever your purpose, your mission in life is. If those things are accomplished, whatever those are, they could be any. Your literal mission could be, I want to have a family with 2 kids and a picket fence. And once you have that, you're like, I have fulfillment, right? I personally think that would be external, but again, it's just whatever your mission in life is, whatever you would like to accomplish, your purpose, whatever you feel your purpose is. If you're succeeding at that purpose or that mission, I feel. That would be the definition of your fulfillment, because if you are literally accomplishing the things that you seek to achieve, your purpose in life,
then you are fulfilled.
You're finding it. So if yours is to find peace and happiness, you will never be fulfilled. I mean, you'll probably find some peace, but you won't be happy. Yeah. And then you might find some happiness, but you won't be at peace. Do you think it's possible to have happiness and peace?
I think so. I think
I mean, it has to be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because you can't means you also can. You know what I'm saying?
How so?
Well, because it has to be variations of those things. Something can't be absolute. You cannot have peace and happiness. That is impossible.
Interesting.
Because it's a spectrum of opportunity.
I got
or possibility or a probability.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
I definitely think that finding one, the other, and both can be difficult.
Well, again, that is an opinion. There's no data to support that.
Yeah, that's why I said I think.
Yeah. Yes, and that is why it's an opinion. But it is that thought though, as an idea, doesn't even have legs to stand on.
Well, it'd be weird if it did have legs.
You know what I'm saying though? Like you think it's hard and difficult,
but there's no data saying yes or no.
Yeah. First of all, your experience might be that you have personally found it very difficult to find both happiness and peace.
Yes.
Right from within though.
Because we've already established that happiness and peace do come from within.
Yeah. Well, you have to find it from within, right? But that doesn't mean it's impossible, mostly because there are people like, I don't know, the Dalai Lama, who is the epitome of both happiness and peace.
And also a llama.
He has his fulfillment. He has confidence. He has balance. He has all these things. He's got plenty of money.
He's got a mountain.
Jesus. This list is about becoming the Dalai Lama. By the way, we have no ill thoughts towards llamas.
We don't. We love llamas.
Yeah, it's the dollies that the llamas carry that are a little uncomfortable. Confidently saying that. So you know, but again, you are also playing. You remember we had an episode where you're saying you're creating glass ceilings? You just created a glass ceiling. You said it's difficult.
I did.
Right? Which means now your brain is in, well, it's difficult. Doesn't mean I won't try, but it's difficult. Instead of going, well, how can I? What is the solution? What do I need to learn
in order to find that?
To achieve those things, right? And that's, by the way, changing your brain. That is confidence. Because it's not about it being difficult. It's about your willingness
to do it.
To do it. No matter how difficult it is, even with failure, at the potential end, you know, that's but one of those brains is going to try confidently, and the other one is going to be like, well, I'll do what I can, but obviously it's difficult, so if I don't achieve it, I expected so, right?
Yes.
So those there you go.
I see. I definitely see the difference in the perspective.
Yeah, perspective is important because perspective drives us. How we see things and ourselves really limits us. Like you've said, people create glass ceilings. Which, by the way, that conversation was interesting because my
we're talking about the one we just had, or the glass ceiling one.
The glass ceiling one in those episodes, because he was saying people create glass ceilings, and I was saying, yeah, but if you don't know if you don't have the proper data, that is the creation of the glass ceiling. But I believe the statement of creating your own glass ceiling is what you just did, where you have the data, you know that you can, it's out there, you know that you have to find it within, but you just said it was difficult. That would be the definition of creating a glass ceiling.
Yes, because the data would be there. I'm just not giving myself the ability or encouragement to break through that ceiling.
Yeah. But I don't believe you create a glass ceiling if you don't have the data.
Yeah, no, you have to have the data. And you have to tell yourself no.
Yeah, but that original conversation, your stance was, but you know, you create the glass ceiling if you're like, I need to make an album. And my argument back to that was like, yeah, but they don't know better. They're not actually creating a glass ceiling because they don't have enough information.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah. My argument was that people were creating a glass ceiling. Say like a metal band was going, we can't reach a high level of success because we're a metal band. That was my argument.
But that is not having the data. They don't know better. So the information they were given created the glass ceiling.
I see what you're saying.
All the information they were told said metal bands can't be successful. So it's not that they're making the choice that they can't be successful. Everything around them is telling them they can't be successful. So
I see what you're saying.
they're not creating the glass ceiling. They are just not aware of the data needed
to break past
the glass.
I see what you're saying.
It's being created by culture, and specifically the music industry. Because they go, oh, you need to be pop music to be top of the level,
which is completely wrong.
Yeah, and if everyone says that, and then you go, well, everything's saying you have to be pop music. That's it. We can't do it as a metal band. You're not technically you're not creating the glass ceiling. It's being built for you.
I see what you're saying.
But the way you get around that is by just educating yourself. And then once you learn and you go, oh, this is how you get there. And then you say, yeah, but we are a metal band. Now you created the glass ceiling.
I see it.
Do you understand?
Yeah, because you're saying without the data, you can't. The glass ceiling is self-implemented. So if you can only work off of the proper data. If you don't have all of the data to make the choice.
Yeah, because even in the first example, if they say you have to be a pop band to make it, and if you're a metal band, you're not going to be able to make it because pop bands make it. And then you go, oh, we can't make it because we're not a pop band. That data you found created the glass ceiling, and you're just basically responding to what you know, which is not all the information, your limited knowledge. But once you find out what's past that ceiling, and you still live by the idea, well, I know that we could do these things, but because we're a metal band, this is as far as we get. Now you are creating the glass ceiling, whereas the other one is culture versus nurture.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, you're just going off of wrong data.
Yeah, like when I deal with bands, like clients, and they're like, "Well, we need an album." They're not creating the glass ceiling.
They're just going off of wrong data.
Yeah, everyone told them you need an album. Oh, we got to play shows. We need a manager to go to the next level. That's not technically glass ceiling building. You know what I'm saying?
That's just wrong data.
It's just, you're just wrong. But if someone says, no, you need all these things too, and you go, no, we can't do that until we get a manager. That's a glass ceiling. Because you have the knowledge beyond what you know.
Yeah. And then you're self-inflicting the limit.
Correct. That's how the glass ceiling thing works. Balance. We talked about balance actually in the beginning.
We did.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that every aspect of your life and how you're running yourself is, being treated equally. Because if you have things that are not being attended to equally, your life is going to be a little out of whack. Like you brought up before, you have to give yourself like some attention and not just focus on giving to others and whatnot. Because it's just you need to have good mental and physical health.
I think there's a trifecta of opportunity, and within those trifectas, there are equal triangles. So basically, there's self, there's people, and then there's your career. Right. So you have to balance those three things in your life. You have to balance your personal life, the people in your life, and then the career you have or desire. And then in each of those, there's the triangle of life. Now, I kind of put it all together, and I go, if you just create your personal triangle of life, it'll allow you to utilize it in your business and so forth and so on, right?
Yeah, because it's all linked.
It's all linked.
Everything you do must affect everything you do.
But if you have a business, you should be utilizing the triangle of life within the business, but you should also be utilizing in your personal life, because you should be getting paid from your businesses or your assets. And then as you get money, you organize your, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like everybody, like even if you have a business, the business should be investing. Like it should be investing into other things. How do we grow the company? How do we, things like that. But joy. What do you think joy is? I think she's a very nice lady.
She's great. She makes really, really good apple pies.
Yeah. She's terrible on The View, though.
I don't think I've actually ever watched The View, oddly enough.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't see out the window?
So would you say
all the time?
How would you define joy as being different than happiness?
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wait, before we get into this, you do know they're two different words, right?
They are two different words.
All right. I would like to start off with They mean totally different things.
I thought they were synonyms, joy and happiness.
Well, you know, hate and what is it? Well, all right. How
Loathing?
about what?
Loathing?
Like hate and loathing. Yeah, they're not technically the same thing. They have a value to them.
Yes.
They are synonyms.
But they are still slightly different.
But they are 100% different
So what would
because
be
they don't mean the same thing.
So what would be the difference between joy and happiness?
Well, I mean, we could literally just look up the definition, but happiness is, to me, the sense of self, right? Your happiness is a sense of self, whereas joy is something that comes from you, right? So happiness to me is like a state of being, whereas joy is something you feel. That's how I look at the two.
I see what you say.
Because like it's like peace. Peace isn't like a state of being. Peace is something transcendent, right? So if you find peace, you have transcended beyond your physical. In my mind, for me.
Interesting.
So happiness is like a state of being. Joy is a feeling of, and then peace is that sense of when you transcend. In my mind,
that makes sense.
You know,
and it's definitely three different things.
Yeah, but as far as the definitions go, I do not believe joy and happiness mean the same thing.
Well, if they did, they would be the same word.
Yeah, they just be like. Why is happiness joy and joy happiness? Even
I still don't get it. Why are they just back
joy feelings?
Happy, joy, joy.
It's like saying gay means happy, but gay doesn't mean happy. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like gay is different than happy,
which is different than joy.
Yeah. But so those are the things today. So basically, people desire the most on this list of this article I read. It was happiness first, then money, freedom, peace, joy, balance to life, fulfillment, and then confidence, which is ultimately 8 things, right? Which I always found interesting when I was reading this, and in life in general. Why do people seek happiness or money or balance or peace or joy or confidence? Like, you can't seek confidence. You can't desire confidence.
Those are all this, everything other than money, I think, is all like self-reflective in order to find everything.
But even money.
Yeah.
You can't even seek money. Do you know what I'm saying? Money is as an idea is not a thing. The use of currency, right? In the sense of how they're using money. I wish I just had more money. I never feel like I have enough of money. The concept of money growth is just, it's a within your brain thing. You have to change the way you look at money and use money. You have to change the way you trade your time for that return. Because that's recouping, right? Recouping income is trading your time for money. So if you have that mentality, I'll just work more hours. You know what? I need more money. So I'll either work more hours or get more pay. Like, that's the solution.
No one thinks about how do you make the money work for you this way you don't have to trade your time for more of it.
Yeah, because money should give you time, not you should give your time for money. Because now you're just working to obtain something. And there's no real value in something you don't even get to hold. Because you're like, oh, I made $50. Now I got to pay my phone bill. I made $300. Now I got to pay for food. You know, like,
Ooh, that rings a bell.
That was. Let's see who this is.
Is it me?
Is it me? Oh,
it's definitely not me.
Oh yeah.
Oh. But no, I see what you're saying. I feel like I don't understand why in like today's society, like there's such a focus away from like looking within, really, to like,
because it's much easier to just look without. You know, you use basically, oh, you know what? She's gorgeous. I want to be with her. If I'm with her, it'll make me happy. If I have a better job, it'll make me happy. If I had more money, it would make me happy. If I had everything I ever desired, I would have peace. If I was able to be in a movie with Martin Scorsese directing, I would feel fulfilled. You know, like
Mhm.
everything is about these things, but you can only do things once. Even that beautiful girl, you can only do it once, and then you got to do her again, and it's a new experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nothing is
Especially if it's in a different room of the house.
yeah.
It's completely different. Womp womp. Uh, uh, it's just like you see like a whole bunch of like stuff, especially now like on like Instagram, we have all these like positive affirmation kind of things where people are like, oh, you know,
You don't have AIDS today. Great job. those things.
Yes,
You're doing good. No AIDS. Also, you're not doing very well. You don't have AIDS. You are poor.
I mean, who's gonna clean up all the dog?
But I do have AIDS. Oh, well, then you're doing great. No. They lift everything for me.
Yeah, that's how I exercise. They just lift everything for me.
Yeah, I hired aides to work out for
Oh my
me.
god,
So I get a sweat at what it would take.
dude, that needs to be a skit where it's like
It is a skit.
you go to the gym, like, oh, you get your stuff already, you're stretching, and then like some guys come over and like lift up like either side without even touching it. They're like,
That's a thing. It's been plagiarized.
damn it.
Several times. Anyway.
Well, this is why I'm not a writer.
Among other things.
A
Wait,
ghostwriter.
You ghostwriter. Okay.
Oh. Hair just goes on fire.
Oh shit.
Put it out. Put it out.
Put out the hair. My hair is on fire. Come on, help
Imagine
me.
every time Ghostwriter like did the fiery thing, all of his hair just burnt off. It was like, ah, damn it.
Do you know they're like an army of ghostwriters?
I didn't know there was an army, but I vaguely remember that every generation there's like a ghostwriter or whatever.
No,
Is that what it is?
I don't know. Well, if there's an army of ghostwriters, that can't be true.
Then apparently I was wrong. So how does like the ghostwriter become the ghostwriter? Is it like
they are chosen?
Is it?
They make a deal with Mephisto
Is it more? Is it?
or the devil.
Yeah. Is it like Spawn kind of rules where it's like he just goes, I want you guys or whatever, and kind of like targets you to make a deal?
Yeah, basically.
Mm.
But it's actually the spirit of vengeance that is the ghostwriter. And the spirit of vengeance can take up multiple forms, but also
At once.
Yeah, like this,
Hence the army.
Hence the army. But there's also a storyline where so like you have the guy on the motorcycle, right?
Which is the most famous one. The most iconic one.
Yes, the most, and he transferred the spirit of vengeance to Rob something or whatever.
Who's the car guy?
Who's the car guy? But the Punisher's been
The ghostwriter.
The ghostwriter. Like there is a spirit of vengeance that transfers over to people, but if I remember, I could be wrong with this. Like I don't care enough to look it up.
I will trust your judgment on the comic books.
Yeah, but there may be a spirit of vengeance character, like essence, that has traveled through the comic books, but there's also a army of ghostwriters that are basically the spirit of vengeance, and their job is to seek out
vengeance.
Yeah, and also, if I remember correctly, the ghostwriters up there like in top 10 most powerful characters, because if you have done wrong and it's coming after you for vengeance,
you're pretty much
it has
dead.
the power to send you to hell. But I think there's a storyline, I could be wrong on this, there's a storyline where the ghostwriter again did the penance there to Thanos, and he was like, what do I care? Like he had no remorse or anything, because that's what you're supposed to have, penance, right? Where you're like, oh my god, I can't believe I did these things.
And Thanos
was like, I don't care. Let me look that up because I think that's true.
That's
Thanos left off the penance. Yeah, it pops up. Yeah. Wait, that's World War. Yeah, he and the time Thanos enjoyed the penance stare.
Enjoyed?
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, it's like the best stuff.
You didn't know about this?
No.
Oh, God, this is so funny.
I think I need to start doing a deep dive on Ghost Rider.
Let's see if this is the comic book.
I love the artwork.
Let's see if I
Is
can
it-
make it bigger.
Ooh.
Okay, here we go. So the Ghost Rider's like, hey,
I'm Ghost Rider.
the Ghost Rider's penance stare is said to be the great demonic equalizer. For no matter how large the sin or how powerful the sinner, to stare into the gaze of the rider is to know absolute sorrow and despair. It delivers back. This is a long panel, but it delivers back upon those who fall under its thrall every moment of torture and pain the victim has unleashed upon the innocent. For many, the rider's penance is the last thing they ever see. For so powerful is the regret, and so heavy is the woe, that they carve out their own eyes. Keep that in mind.
That sounds brutal.
Okay. Lest they ever sleep or be forced to see into their own shriveled black hearts ever again. But then, of course, there's Thanos. For him, it reveals acts so vile and wretched that we cannot ever bear to show them to you here. That's great. For they are his hidden things, his darkest deeds, things so heinous that if you were to witness them, you would. Oh, wait, it's hard to read. Small. You would land. Oh, you would and perhaps should stop reading this tale of ours at once. Yes, for Thanos, the stare is a cold reminder of the uncounted lies he has destroyed and left unburied in the purest of his one true love. Oh, pursuit. Oh, yeah.
There's one true
Yeah, I
love.
don't have my glasses on. Pursuit of his one true love. An endless black symphony composed by hands and teeth throughout time. I'll give it a little backstory to what's going on. He loves death. Death is a female.
He's in love with death and wants.
Yeah,
to, you know,
so he only, if you've ever read his origin, death came to him as somebody else and convinced him to kill, because originally he was a pacifist and he did it for science because he was trying to help something, the deviant curse or whatever, the deviant gene that he has, and something like that, but he ended up liking it. So he convinced himself that he was killing people for science, but he was really he was like a serial killer.
he's like, just one more.
Anyway, death tricked him into falling in love with killing, and then he fell in love with death. So anyway, so
all he does is for death.
Yeah, he's doing it for love. Anyway, so they continue. So basically, his pursuit of death, and then it says a love letter written in blood and then spilled, unread and unwanted across the stars. For our mad titan, the Ghost Rider's penance stare is the most haunting spiritual journey he will ever encounter. Oh yeah, they're actually showing. That's funny. In the comic book, they're showing
all the stuff that he's done.
Yeah, but like this is when he was younger, and see how he's like experimenting on them.
And he's not as jacked.
Yeah, but not for the reason you may think. You see, these are not Thanos' darkest secrets and regrets. No, for him. This is so funny. Okay. They are his fondest memories. Beautiful, he says. Exhilarating, is it not? Yes, it is. You do this every morning. Mm-hmm. I see why you keep this idiot demon around. Yeah, by the way, he's holding Ghost Rider's skull. You know, I can still hear you. So tell me, King Thanos, what shall we do now? Hey, come on, man, be careful. Because they're
tossing his skull around.
Now we have breakfast. It's so crazy. You didn't know about that?
No, but that is really funny.
Dude, when I saw that, I was like, this is so funny.
I really want like a good Ghost Rider movie
to do that. But this goes, he basically killed one of the Ghost Riders and just kept the head.
Hey man, why wouldn't you?
Dude, that's so funny though.
Thanos is like, I need to do like a deep dive in all these comics, because like so many of these stories you've told me are just like insane, and like what ends up happening.
He in the original Infinity Wars,
like the
comics, he became a god. Obviously, he was able to control all elements.
Yeah.
And he got to a point where he just basically made the world. He killed off 50 of the population for death. He did it for death. He was like, oh, if I just that'll be enough for her to love me forever.
Yeah, instead of the movie, which is just because
I get it because
Yeah.
they didn't introduce death as a character, and
They had to give him
it's
a
a
different-
long story. Like,
they needed to give him a completely
Yeah.
different motivation.
which I get that. But in the comic book, he gets to a point where he's bored, and he just goes back in time and lets lets them beat him. That's how the comic. That's how he loses.
It's like, oh no, I lost.
Yeah, he lets them beat him. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong on that, but I've read it, and that's what I and every time I've like went back to look at it, it's basically that
He's like,
he got bored. I'm summing that up, and he went back. He reversed time, and he made himself lose,
like, oh, no,
which is interesting because that's the same thing with Rasslin Magier is that he became a god in the Dragonlance books.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, "This sucks." And they went back and he killed him.
Yeah, I think
You
I'm
didn't
assuming,
read the Tale of the Twins, right?
No, I've only read the original 3.
Yeah,
Where he eventually, he gets he graduates basically and goes to the next level at the end of that.
Yeah, he becomes a wizard of the black robes
Yeah.
or something like that. Or the black robes because he's a red robes through the whole book. But yeah, in the
Spoiler alert.
spoil 80s, which is also interesting because Raistlin Magier is actually Vader.
Oh yeah. Because didn't Margaret Weiss say she basically made him Darth Vader?
Yeah, it's her version of Darth Vader. So if you think about it, Anakin, to become purely evil, went and killed all the Jedi, all the babies, like just murdered a whole bunch of people. Which, by the way, do you see that? Like it's like a common thing. However, anyway, so yeah, Thanos. But Drax the Destroyer was a human. I don't know if you know this. He was human. Of course, they may have changed the story since the movies. But in the comics, he was originally human, and they made him more powerful because Thanos killed his family, which is basically like in the movie where they said. But
I think he in the movies he's just that race.
But they basically nerfed Drax. Drax punched through Thanos' chest once. That's how strong he is. And if I remember correctly, Drax went through the sun and was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, Drax is like immensely powerful in comparison to how they made him in the comic, in the Marvel.
And isn't Groot in the comic is also a lot darker? Like his entire species
is gone. They're eradicated.
Yeah, because there's isn't there a disease that basically affects their ability to communicate? That's why he says I am Groot instead of actually being able to communicate.
Maybe I don't remember that. I don't remember that, so I can't. But I do know he's the last of his kind. And he's more vicious in the comic books.
Yes,
he's not like I am Groot. Like he's not like smiles at the camera. Hey, Groot. He's a vicious.
The original Guardians of the Galaxy came out in 1969.
Yeah. And I believe Adam Warlock is the leader of the Guardians now, and actually, Star-Lord was not that cool of a character.
Yeah, Star-Lord started off as a separate thing, if I remember correctly, and then they brought him in and added him to Guardians of the Galaxy. And
fun story is Cyclops' father is actually knows Star-Lord because Cyclops' father is like a space pirate. Yeah, I don't make this stuff up. Literally, the show. I don't make this stuff up.
I learned something today.
Did you? You learned a lot of things today.
I learned a lot of things any day I speak with you.
Yeah,
every day.
I wish I could.
I mean, if you want, I could record you speaking to me and then play it back.
Yeah. Hey, Tom, I learned something today. You want to hear it? Sure. What is it? That sounds a lot like me. Why do I feel like I'm not learning anything?
Do you listen to yourself when you speak? I drift in and out.
I thought we could go a whole year without you saying it again, but I lost that bet. I got to pay myself.
Well, at least you're not out any money.
I am. That was money I was going to use.
From this pocket to the other one.
What is something you think you could teach me?
Probably not much. Because anything that I bring up, you're like, oh yeah, I already have information and a lot more.
Well, give me something. Tell me something. Let's see if you could teach me.
I
know about that.
All right. Oh
no, go ahead.
There you go.
What do you think you could teach me?
Well,
and not somebody's life. Like I could tell you about somebody's life, and I'll be like,
if you click
that's
this
your
button,
friend. How am I going to know that? It has to be. It has to be. It has to be.
applicable.
No, it has to be knowledge that's attainable. Like I cannot
Like
know.
if you be able, like you would be able to research it elsewhere. Is what you're saying?
Yeah. Like I couldn't know if, like in third grade, Bobby picked his nose and then flung it at you. Like I would have to assume that is true. You know what I'm
There's no way to verify that.
Yeah. I could not know that information. I mean, I could probably tell how your childhood was, but by analyzing your behavior.
I mean that, and I've pretty much told you most of my childhood, so that would be, free reign. I'm pretty sure I've told you about the Battle of Moscow before.
Oh, God.
I'll take that as a yes.
They held in the snow, and they're like, "Gotcha."
Exactly.
I wish you told the story that way.
Hey,
They were like, "Forget these guys. They're gonna just hide in the snow."
hey, we're never gonna
We're
see
gonna-
us.
And they were like, "Oh, it's snowy. Wait. Come out, got you."
You're dead.
That's how it would be written in history, with dialogue.
And they're all narrated by Mickey Mouse.
That's funny.
That'd be really funny.
Do you know that when the Americans created an arts retrieval during World War II, that they ended up having to abandon a ton of art because Russia was closing in on them?
I did not know that.
And Adolf Hitler, who quote unquote destroyed lots of art, didn't actually destroy lots of art. He stole it and hoarded it. And that was what the Americans got together. They were like scholars and teachers.
We're
and
like, we're gonna get
professors.
all this art away,
Yeah, they came in and they
so it doesn't get blown up when everyone goes into Germany.
Well, they heard about it and they were like, let's start kind of. Did you know that?
Vaguely. Isn't there a movie came out last like 10 years? It was about that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, Bill Murray in it.
Bill Murray.
Yeah, Bill Murray.
Really?
No.
Surprised.
Yes. Why? He loves art.
Fair enough.
See, there's someone else you didn't know.
Hey, jeez. I don't even know what to do with all this information now.
Come on, teach me something, damn it.
The Egyptians made beer out of milk.
Oh God, who doesn't know that? Of course. Did you know they had a battery? Yes, I did know they had a battery. Did you know the pyramids actually have been proven to be a generator of electricity?
We've had this conversation recently, I believe.
Oh, maybe. They found new areas within the pyramid that are coated with certain things on the wall,
Which conduct electricity.
which helps conduct through water.
Interesting.
You would filter water through the pyramid, and it would create electric.
And being, back in that time, supposedly there was more water flow in that area,
That's
hence all the water erosion on like the Sphinx and whatnot.
Do you know what color the original pyramids were?
I do not.
White and a gold tip.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Jesus.
See?
Beer. They made beer.
Out of milk.
Out of milk.
Milk buyer.
That's crazy. Did you also know that Greek and Roman statues were actually painted poorly? They were like crappy, ugly reds and blues.
Which is why all the whatchamacallit, like the eyes don't have any like carved pupils because they were painted.
Yeah,
originally.
everything was painted. They didn't actually. They
And
weren't.
everything wore
They look
off.
beautiful as they are, but that's because the paint's gone. But like if you had seen them with the paint, you'd
You'd
be
be
like,
like, what is
the hell
this?
going on? Did you know that there are elephants, male elephants, that actually have a period,
What?
and they leak, they secrete goo from their ears, and that's when
Ugh.
you stay away from them because they're more volatile. Volatile. Did you know that?
I did not, but that's gross.
Jesus Christ, this guy.
So when they start
You
oozing
know-
out the ear,
Teach me something.
I think we've established that that ain't happening.
What is the most interesting fact you've ever learned? It must not be that interesting. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's not even on the top. I have literally learned nothing interesting. Not even that. Did you know men can secrete milk from their nipples if they are attached to their woman in a way that allows them to feel?
The
Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah, guys if they
Can lactate.
they can lactate during a woman's pregnancy and or after the birth of a child.
That is
They also can feel the pregnancy pain. You didn't
Man.
know that, did you? Jesus, guy. Did you know there's blue people?
You
yeah, that I knew.
told me.
There are literally Smurfs
That don't wear the Smurf hats.
that don't wear the Smurf
That is a
hats.
wasted opportunity, in my opinion.
Mm.
I think one of the most fascinating things that I've ever learned was that there was an experiment, I believe it was with photons, where they learned that
Yeah, if you don't look at them, they operate differently. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got that. All right, teach me something.
that one.
It was also discovered by accident.
Yeah, because they forgot to turn it on.
Yeah,
The monitoring
and
device.
they also learned it led to the discovery of radio waves or something like that, and how radio waves act differently, and that protons act like radio waves.
Womp womp. See, you taught me more.
Listen, JD,
I'm listening.
we have a new rule.
What's the rule?
You can never believe you are right whenever I say anything from this point on.
I don't believe that I'm right most of the time.
Most of the time, I want it completely off the table. I want the standard to be like, you know what? Let me research this because
this
he
is a
said
mug.
this, that it's not a mug
I got to do my research.
because you can't wear it. Your mug is on your face.
And now it's a hat.
And now it's a hat. It is a mug though. Why is it a mug and a cup? What is the difference between a mug and a cup? Do you know?
I do not. I assume that a mug is meant for.
Cup is smaller.
Oh,
That's why I say a cup of tea.
yeah, it's tinier.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Look at this guy. Jesus. Just one thing. Just teach me. Just one thing so we can end the show. I just want to learn one thing.
We're gonna be here a while.
Oh my God. What's the difference between we already talked about that. What's I taught you that with the first motorcycle. I teach you a lot, don't I? I bring up a lot of crazy stuff. Oh, I believe, I don't remember the name, but the actual invention of a plane was discovered before the Wright brothers. However, the Wright brothers were the first to fly X amount of miles, but the plane design, which was operational, was not originally the Wright brothers.
So we're not talking about the Da Vinci designs.
We are not, no, because they didn't technically fly, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, like they
or they were, one was built, but I don't think they flew. The glider was built, but the helicopter was.
Oh yeah, no, where it was just like the corkscrew thing.
Yeah,
that definitely didn't work.
I mean, it worked until it hit the ground. We're flying. No, I think we're falling. No, we are. We're dead. Yeah, well, let me look that up because that was an interesting thing when I learned that. Watch.
I'm watching.
Who invented the plane before the Wright brothers? Look, it pops right up.
There's one or two things that Da Vinci.
The first plane was built by Indian. By Indian? I'm assuming they meant an Indian from India. I can't pronounce his name, but it's actually I'll just put it on the screen just because he deserves recognition. Yeah. Boop. There we go. Beep. This guy,
Shivkar Babuji Talpata.
he invented the plane. It happened 8 years before the Wright brothers flew their plane, but nobody knows this. The person who made the plane was this guy.
Let me see the pictures.
But I think, well, this is a.
But it did not.
No, it flew. It just didn't.
He didn't get the recognition. That looks like the Wright brothers.
This is the Wright brothers, but because they're the ones that they took the pictures of.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would have known that the Indian did it. Is this the Indian? No, this is not the Indian.
No, that looks like the Da Vinci design.
No, but a much larger version of it.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, because the Da Vinci design is kind of small. But if I remember correctly, it just wasn't. No one cared.
Which is crazy.
On August.
So what was the year exactly? I don't remember when the Wright brothers flew.
What was I don't know.
Let's see.
Look that up. When did the Wright brothers fly? You look that up. I'll look up at this. Oh, there was also in Bridgeport newspaper published an article describing a half-mile flight said to have taken 4 days earlier.
They flew in 1903.
Yeah, and this was 1901. This other flight, there was another half a mile flight that happened in 1901 where they flew a half mile. I believe, if I remember correctly, there's a reason the Wright brothers got recognition.
According to this, it says they completed the world's first successful controlled powered flight. So it looks like they have a propeller on the back of their thing. So was the other flight not powered?
I am unsure of that. All I know is that they did not create the first plane that flew, but they are recognized as the fathers of flight, though.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, because theirs has a small motor on it.
Yeah. My question to you is, why is Wolverine not an indigenous person? Think about it.
I'm thinking.
First of all, his father was like a hand, like a somebody that worked on the land. Like he was like basically a slave. He was not a slave, but a
It was like a field hand.
yeah. He was a nobody. He had no money, right?
Yeah.
But he slept with Wolverine's mother, right? Because he cheated, and she was cheating on the husband. This is not based on the movie. This is based on comics. But more importantly, think about it this way:
this is back in the 1800s
in Canada,
in Canada.
So it's less likely it was white people. It was more likely he's at least half indigenous. You know what I'm saying? Because the people of wealth may have been French or whatever, but it's still the 1800s. You know what I'm saying? Like the
that's a good question.
Because he's supposed to be 200 old. Yeah. When was Wolverine born? Right. So it's going to say he was born in 1832. Okay. According to this, Wolverine in the movies is older. That's interesting.
Wait, where is?
But anyway, 1832 is when comic book Wolverine was born, right? But he was born in I think, Ontario. Ontario, right? Does it say it?
Yes.
Right. So, so just wait, what was the major population in Ontario, Canada?
1832.
Canada in 1832. Yep, Indians. Paleo indigenous Indians, thousands of years. This is the resettlement increased. All right. It was divided though at one point.
Ooh, Quebec.
See that? Well, that's population ethnicity. Well, Great Britain was there in 1791, but again, they didn't. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just saying, there's a chance.
He's the illegitimate son of the Howlett's groundskeeper, Thomas Logan.
Yeah. Correct. That's where he gets the name Logan from. But all I'm saying is, by the way, he kills his father too, I think. Yeah, he kills his father. Yeah.
Like, is it like he kills Thomas Logan?
Yeah, because what happened was, your computer died. What happened was, he caught his mom with him, and I think, no, okay. Wolverine's mother's husband caught them cheating. So Wolverine didn't know that Thomas Logan was his father. So Thomas Logan tried to save the mother. So little Wolverine ended up bursting out his claws
and killing his actual
father to save who he thought was his father.
Oh.
So yeah.
Oops.
And Sabretooth is not related to Wolverine. I repeat, is not related to Wolverine.
Because in the movies they made it that they're related, right?
Yeah, because we want a drama. But Sabretooth does find Wolverine every year and beat him up on his birthday. which is funny.
It's just such a weird tradition.
I know.
It's like the Thanos thing. It's like
That's right.
he just messes with that guy on his birthday every year.
And T'Chaka, the Black Panther, actually cut off Sabretooth's head with a sword.
That's crazy.
He was like,
It doesn't. Sabretooth does not have regenerative power.
yeah, he does. But T'Chaka used like a special sword. It's ridiculous.
Off with his
Also, I
head.
believe Wolverine now has a laser energy that he can pulsate through his blades.
What?
Because Marvel's doing like a New 52 kind of thing. I don't know much about it, but
New 104.
No, well, the New 52 is they redid the history of 52 characters in DC, but then they did the Watchmen thing, and
where they have like infinite universes or whatever.
Yeah, and they made like one universe, and then they did like this dark metal thing, and they recreated the Omniverse.
I thought Watchmen was a subsidiary of DC.
This guy over here. Watchmen is what?
I guess
is Watchmen the publisher?
It is not.
So how would it be a subsidiary of DC?
I thought we were talking about the comic book, The Watchmen.
Yeah, I am. The Watchmen series is not just one book. They did a story that you're thinking of that they made a movie about,
which is the big one.
Which is one of. Yes, there are more. Anyway, Dr. Manhattan created the New 52. Do you know about Superman Newborn or Reborn or something like that?
I don't.
This guy's going to tell me, Watchmen's a subsidiary of DC. First of all, I don't think a comic book title can be a subsidiary of any company that is a publishing company. I think if it had a separate publishing company, that would be the subsidiary.
Yes, that's what You're correct.
But you like, the comic book one. What's that have to do with anything? That's so funny. How do you not know this stuff?
I was confused because I didn't realize that
Watchmen was not a publishing company.
No, that they were tied in with Marvel as well.
They are not. That's why I said the DC's New 52.
Gotcha.
They have nothing to do with Marvel.
I did not switch gears. We went from laser Wolverine to the other 52.
Yeah, I said Marvel is doing they're rebooting and doing a new thing like DC's 52.
Gotcha.
And then, but 52 was changed after blah blah blah, and I went down the line. But also, there is a world where Doctor Strange and Dr. Fate became Doctor Strange Fate, and made a new Omni world, and then made Superman and Bishop one person, made Wonder Woman and Storm a person, made Aquaman, who cares, and Iceman one person. And do you know about this?
No. What?
The Justice League, the X-Men were beating up Batman, and then the Justice League showed up, and then they started fighting, and Doctor Strange like collapsed, and then he came up as like Doctor Strange Fate or something like that. Maybe it's Strange, it's Fate Strange. No, it's Doctor Strange Fate. And he was like, I am Doctor Strange, I have the power to, and he like united everybody.
It's so weird.
Yeah, it was crazy. What they do, make money. It'd be great if we just
meld these characters together.
There's this guy who does like beatdowns for like everyone's like, so and so could beat Superman. He's like, one-sided ass whooping. Because like no one could beat Superman. Like he's an unchecked character. Whereas in Marvel,
everyone has a check.
Yeah, every character has somebody that can check them. There's no even Superion, whatever his name is. He or the not the Spectre. He is Superion. Anyway, he's like the Marvel Superman, but he can also be put in check.
When Superman has rocks that he has an allergy to,
and it doesn't even kill him. You know what I'm saying? As long as the sun is out,
And he literally got quote unquote killed by Doomsday. I was like, I'm good.
But if you read the comic, he didn't actually get killed. That's
Yeah,
the
why,
thing.
That's why the air
Oh, the cool
quotes.
But Superman also he has punched the he has changed reality with a punch.
So basically, Superman is unkillable.
No, they're the I can't. She's a new character. She's Raven combined with like somewhat, I don't know, with the devil or whatever the version of the devil is, and I can't remember her name.
Malbolgia?
No, she's like a new character, a fairly newer character. That's probably, but she can kill
Superman.
every version of Superman except for potentially two of them. But Superman Million or something like that. I don't know what his name. He's golden. He's gold.
What?
You've never heard of Superman Million? Look at it. Is it Superman Million? Yeah.
Why? Why?
Yeah,
Why?
Yeah, Superman 1,000,000. See, and he's gold. Superman Prime, but he's called Superman 1,000,000. He basically, if I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, I could be very wrong on this. He stayed in the sun for like 1,000 years or something. He survived by becoming a living extension of the sun. Yeah. The Superman of 853rd century survived by becoming the living extension of the sun. He left Earth somewhere in the late 21st century when everyone he cared about died. He transferred
he traversed the entire DCU, going beyond time and space, and has been said to have reached as far as heaven and hell themselves.
Yeah, and he got beaten by that thing. This thing got, which is crazy.
That is insane.
What is the? I want to. What is the new character created from Raven? I think it's like the power character.
Enhanced vision. And electromagnetic spectrum vision. Superman Prime can see well into most of the electromagnetic spectrum. He can see and identify radio and television signals as well as all other broadcast or transmitted frequencies. Using this ability, he can avoid detection by radar or satellite monitoring methods. This also allows him to see the aura generated by living things.
Yeah.
So basically, he can literally just do anything.
I can't find the thing.
Vulnerability, superhuman stamina.
I can't find it, but she's maybe actually if I read it, most powerful
Superman
character in DC. She may pop up. What?
What?
Oh, Wolverine's the bottom 10. Okay. That's fine. It's not even on it. I can't remember her name, but she's like a newer character. All right, I guess that's it. Anything else?
I'm just surprised that there's all this like ridiculous superhero stuff. Like why you took a superhero who literally was indestructible and we're like, let's make him more indestructible.
Do you know why Superman is even afflicted by kryptonite?
Because they needed to give him something.
No, because the guy who voiced it on the radio needed a break, so they put him in the hospital for 2 weeks by making.
It's like, I need.
And also there's a red kryptonite that makes him like an a-hole, and then there's another there's different colored kryptonites that like affect him differently.
Interesting. I didn't realize that there was different color kryptonite. I thought it was just that.
This is how I know you're not cultured.
Yeah.
So you weren't able to teach me one thing today.
Nope.
Not even one thing.
Nope.
Say something about a Jewish culture. Let me hear about this.
We don't have horns.
Yeah, well, that's not true. Because there's a horn that you drink out of for a certain celebration.
Actually, we blow out of.
Blow out of it. That's it. You blow out of it.
The shofar.
Yeah, that's right. They all die. Oh, wrong one. This is Gabriel's.
Oopsies.
Ladeum. See, I know about the horn. What else?
You're not allowed to touch the Torah unless you're the rabbi.
Yeah, I know about that one too. They use a stick. I know about
The little pointer.
That's right. They use the pointer. However, you can touch the Torah within the sheet. The what's that? The rug thing that they.
I forget what it's called, like the little clothy.
Yeah, because I have touched it. I have been given the grace to touch it.
La.
And I also prayed over with two Levines, two Rabbi Levines of greater generation.
That is.
And there's three major main families in the Jewish lineage, and Levine is one of them.
That's why they're.
You know that?
I did not.
Gee, come on. One of us is Jewish.
Yeah, but my Jewish ancestors are all from just like tiny little town that was inbred.
So you're not one of the three?
No.
We are blue almost. We almost became blue.
Everyone looks like one another.
How would you feel if you went to Greece and you fell in love with a girl and it turned out she was related to you? Would you stay with her? I mean, like you fell in love.
I would just have to avoid going to Yana now then.
I don't think you're close enough related for it to be an issue.
Yeah, at this point, I definitely wouldn't.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even if she was like a 42nd cousin. You know what I'm saying?
That is like 42nd cousin would be like ridiculously far removed.
I'm just saying, it'd be like your neighbor. It wouldn't matter, you know?
Yeah, it'd be like, well,
just because you stare at her when she bathes.
Listen, it's because she's attractive.
So what is the furthest a relative has to be for you to be in an intimate dating relationship with them? Obviously, not a brother or sister, so we know that. Not a mother or father. First cousin?
No.
What about not trying to have a family, just being intimate?
No, it would have to be like we have
no idea of each other.
We have common ancestors that go back to like the early 1800s as the earliest point.
Really? Not even like a 10th cousin?
Well, that would be like a 10th cousin, I think, at that point.
How about like a 4th cousin?
Nah, too close.
How close is 4th cousin? Let's see. Wait, if you're all right, so because if your mother, we're just making up things now. If your mother's brother had a kid, that would be your first cousin.
Hold on. How do cousin generations work? There we go.
And then how would that work?
First cousins share a grandparent. Second cousins share a great grandparent.
Oh, that makes sense.
So basically, every
second cousin would be far enough removed.
Well, the second cousin would be like
because you've never met your grandparents. I mean, your great grandparents.
I have met my great grandparents.
Oh, you did.
I have met my great grandmother on my dad's side, so not on my.
So there's a chance that you could have been with your second cousin and it would have been okay.
Ugh, gross.
Well, what about third? Because there's no way you met your great grandparents.
That is definitely that has not happened.
So would you consider that far removed?
No, because my mother's side of the family basically has stayed very close in contact. So I know a lot of my cousins.
4th cousin.
Nope.
5th cousin.
Maybe.
Because
5th cousin would be.
Now, why? We're not saying like.
Oh no! Wait.
Half sister.
Wait. No, I'm trying to do the math really quick. Give me a second.
First of all, they'd be really old.
No.
Oh no! Because it could be the generation.
Yeah, it's our generation. It's the separation between the
grandparents.
Yeah.
So it could actually be the kids of. What if it's like your generation of the 4th generation grandparents' child? So they're your age. So they definitely had to go through.
Yeah. So the relation goes back to the 1800s.
No, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no. Like the connection goes back to like.
So even your 3rd cousin would be like that. Your 3rd cousin would be so far removed. Because they would have to be your age. Because your 3rd cousin, just at the starting point, would be dead. So their kids would have to have kids.
No.
For you to be able to date them.
Like the.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Wait. I think I got lost.
Okay. So the way it works is it's just the grandparents generational. So if we share the same grandparents, we're first cousins.
Yes.
So 2nd and 3rd. So
if we share the same great grandparents, we are 2nd cousins.
Yeah, we're going to the 3rd though. So it's great grandparents.
Then we're 3rd cousins.
So that's at minimum 150 years ago.
Yes.
At minimum. It'd have to be.
So then third cousins is okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because they would have kids. Their kids would be your third cousins. And if they had kids, they would also be your third cousins. But those kids would still end up being so old.
I think.
You know what I'm saying?
Wait. Are you saying that like if the third cousins had kids, I think
They would
that's-
have to. They
no,
would
no, no,
have.
I think that is when you get that once removed, twice removed thing, because the first cousin, second cousin is direct relation to the grandparents.
Okay,
I think the removed thing is like you're at that
so-
cousin level, and then the removed thing is if those cousins have kids. I think that's
So
how it
at
works.
third cousins right now, for you to be in a relationship with a third cousin, they would have to be at minimum once removed. Maybe twice removed. You know what I'm saying? Because it would have to be the child of the child for it to be young enough for you to date them without it being very awkward. Speaking
Yes.
mathematically,
I
right?
think that's correct.
Because if it's once removed, twice removed, once removed would be their kids' kids. Twice removed would be their kids' kids' kids. And those would be the people that would probably be even their kids. No, because that would make sense. So they would be third cousins, third removed.
So that'd be okay.
So what about second cousins?
Too close.
Once removed.
Still too close.
I don't know if that's too close.
For me, it would be too close.
Second cousin,
Yes, because that means you have
right?
same great grandparents.
Once removed would be the children of your second cousins.
Yeah, but you still have that connection to the great grandparents.
No, because it's their children.
Still too close for me.
No, it's great grandparents had kids. They are your second cousins.
No.
Yes.
No, if your great
According to that,
No,
if-
no, no,
if
no, no,
your
no.
great grandparents have kids.
yes.
Yeah.
They're
Their kids would be your second cousins.
no, that would be the great aunt.
Well, what is a cousin? The kids.
Like people in the same generation, give or take. So you have two people. They have kids.
Yeah.
Say it's just two women. Those people
Great-
have kids.
Great grandparents would have your grandparents. One of your
Yes.
grandparents. And if they had a brother, that kids to your grandparents would be the second cousins. That's how that would work. Because
Then yes.
your grandmother, right, had your mom and your aunt.
Correct.
And your aunt produced cousins.
Yes.
So all you got to do is move that back one. But what I'm saying is those cousins, if your cousin right now
Yes.
had a child, that would be considered once removed,
First cousin once removed. Yes.
right? So if you just move it back, it would be second cousin once removed. If you move it back a generation.
So you're saying if we didn't share, if my cousin and I did not share a grandparent, we shared a great grandparent. Is that what you're saying?
If your mother's father had a son and a daughter, okay, and the son had kids, that would be the second cousins. And then if those kids had kids, that would be your second cousin
Wait, you say
once removed.
wait. If my mom's father had kids,
If your mom's father
yeah.
had a son and a daughter,
So my aunt and uncle,
so your aunt and uncle, and the uncle had children,
that would be my first cousin.
going back. So if it's great grandparents,
Yes,
okay,
that would be second cousin.
so if the great grandparents had a son and a daughter,
Yeah, they'll be second cousins.
no, the son and a daughter would be
Oh, those would be, like
your
great uncles
grandparents.
or great uncle. One will be my grandparent. The other one will be like the great aunt or uncle.
Yeah.
If
But if they had
kids,
kids, that would
second
be
cousins.
And if those kids had kids, that would
Second
be
cousin once
removed. That is far enough for you to date a second cousin once removed because they're not even. I don't even think they're blood related at that moment. Well, they're blood related, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
I still feel weird.
really?
Yeah.
Third, you'd be good without them removed at all.
Maybe.
You'd be like, let's just do it. They'd have. Well, actually, you could not be with a third cousin. It would have to be a minimum once removed
Gotta have
because
the
of the
dilation.
age, right? The age, because it would be so far back.
Oh no, because we could still be the same age bracket. It's just that we share the same great grandparents. The once removed is what makes it the age iffy. But if it's like a direct like first cousin, second cousin, third cousin, that's your age group, roughly.
Wait. I think I'm confused here.
Yeah, because it's going down the generation tree. So like it's not gonna be exact, obviously. So like your first cousins, I'm assuming, are roughly about the same age as you, correct? They're in the same age group.
My first cousins are my age.
Yeah,
because we're first cousins.
Yeah, but
my second cousins are way older than I am.
Is there a removed at some point?
Because it's a generation back. Because our first grandparents create the first cousin bracket. So if it's a great grandparent, we weren't born yet. Nor were your parents. And if they have kids and we're linked to them, those turn into our grandparents. But again, if there's two of them, they're going to have kids and they're going to be cousins. Those are going to be second cousins. There's no way they can be your age. Unless they were removed. The removed would be those cousins having children. And they would be second cousin once removed. And they would be more likely your age.
Then that makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
I think so.
Because your great grandparents are dead.
They're definitely all dead at this point.
And how old were their kids when they died? Because they are dead.
Dead.
And they died and made you have cousins that are first cousins. So that means your second cousins have to be older than your first cousins. They have to be.
Yes.
Unless, of course, there's that crazy thing that happens where sometimes a 7-year-old marries a 20-year-old and they have a baby. And the baby ends up being an uncle, even though they're younger than you are.
Or you just have people that are popping out like 8 kids, and then you have like a child that's in their 40s and one that's in their like.
Well, yeah, that happens too. But what I'm saying is like, it's more likely for you to be like in your 30s, and like say your grandfather before he died married someone that was 20, right? Had a baby with them. And that child would be your uncle because it's your grandfather's child.
Yes.
So it would be your uncle, but it would be an infant, and you'd be because. But all I'm saying though is like the further back you go at your age right now, the cousins would have to be removed to be closer to your age, because your second cousin right now has to be like your father's age. You know what I'm saying? Because they're his cousins. They're his first cousins. His first cousins are your second cousins.
No, they're my first cousins once removed, because removed is the generation referring. Like I my cousin Cosmo is my second cousin.
Because you all share the same grandparent.
Great grandparents.
Great grandparents.
Which is second cousins. His mother is my second cousin once removed.
So how's he your second cousin?
Because we share the same great grandparent.
He's not the removed?
He's not the removed. His mother is the removed, because it's the generation.
I think he is the once removed.
It says here that the removed refers to the number of generations separating the cousins.
But they're both cousins.
They are both cousins. But his mother, for me, is removed. He is the second cousin. She would be the
parent of my.
No, he's my third cousin. He's my third cousin, because my grandparents My grandfather and his grandmother were first cousins, so that means my mom and her daughter were second cousins. So him and I are third cousins. So that means me and his mother are second cousins once removed.
Okay, here we go. Let's do it with a chart. Okay.
There we go.
Whew. All right. Wait a minute. I don't even think this helps. Great great grandparents, let's say, is the first generation.
Mhm.
If they had 2 kids,
Great grandparents. I'm reading it out loud for.
let me.
All right.
So great great grandparents is as far as we're going for generation 1. Those great great grandparents have 2 kids. Okay?
Mhm.
One of them, they're both now considered grandparents. So one is a grandparent and one is a great grand uncle. Well, that's interesting.
That makes sense.
That's what it says, right? So, because if one's a great grandparent, the other one has to be a great grand uncle or aunt. Okay. But your grandparent now has 2 children. One is your actual grandparents, and the other one is your great uncle, your grand uncle.
And the great. Okay.
Right. The grand uncle creates the first cousin once removed, which would be, let's say, your father's actual cousin.
Yes.
And then their child would be your second cousin. However, their kid would be your second cousin once removed. And then that person's kid would be your second cousin twice removed. However, going all the way back from your grandparents to your grandparents' to your great grandparent, you have to go back to your great great grandparent, and that great granduncle creates the first cousin twice removed, and their kid creates a second cousin once removed, and then their kid creates the third cousin. Holy crap. All right. So according to the Cosmo's mother's the one that's related to you by blood.
Yes. Cosmo's mother.
And who is she related to?
She is my mother's second cousin.
No. Don't tell me what they are.
Oh, sorry.
Just tell me how they're related.
To my mother.
Okay. Wait. Like, your mom gave birth to her.
No, as in like she.
Who?
The furthest connection that we have, where is we share. Cosmo and I share great grandparents. Yes.
So your aunt's, or not your aunt, Cosmo's mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cosmo's mother, one of her parents is the child of your great grandparent.
Correct.
Okay. So that would make her parent a grand uncle or grand aunt, right? Because she's a she. She's a she. No, not her. Her parent. Her actual parent that's related to you is the great.
So Cosmo's grandmother is my great aunt.
Okay, so then it would be the grand aunt.
Grand aunt, that's what I meant.
Okay, that would make Cosmo's mother actually the first cousin once removed, turning Cosmo into your second cousin. However, if Cosmo had a child, he would be your second cousin once removed.
Interesting.
And then if that child had a child, that would be your second cousin twice removed. Gotcha. However, the first cousin once removed would be your father's age. So that means, like I was saying, if we went up, to say, like, Jesus Christ, isn't it?
The cousin chart confuses me.
This is crazy. Anyway, so third cousin actually wouldn't even matter about the generation. Your third cousin could be your age. Wait, no, Cosmo's younger than you?
We're like same age.
Oh, you're same age. So your
Give or
third
take.
cousin could still be the same age because the third cousin
Is
is
in the
actually only
generation.
it's in your generation, but they're removed by an uncle or aunt, a great grand
great-grand.
aunt or uncle. So they're you could technically sleep with your third cousin, and they
And it's
wouldn't.
okay.
That would be okay. They would be your age. However, the second cousin, once removed,
Would be older.
would be older.
This chart gives me headaches.
So that's why I was getting confused, because the way you explained it was not the way this looks.
Correct.
Yeah, the way you explained it was a lot different. So the way this looks, I get it. So that makes sense for the first, second, and third cousins could potentially all be the same age, depending on when the children were born, et cetera, right? Because obviously your grandparents could have had your dad, and then like 20 years later had an aunt,
child.
and the age things would be different. But according to this,
A good chunk of cases, generations tend to be within a certain age bracket together.
so according to this, your aunt or uncle's cousin is your first cousin once removed. If they share the same great grandparents. So that's why Cosmo's mother is a first cousin once removed, because she's actually the first cousin
Once removed.
No, to your aunt, or to your mom and aunt.
Is
Right?
that how it would be?
Well, that's because if that was the case, it gets moved down to here because they are siblings now. Right? Your mom and your cousin, your mom and your aunt are siblings.
They are.
So that means anyone who's related to them as a cousin is automatically just the first cousin.
Gotcha.
If they share the same grandparents, which in this case they would share the same grandparent, it would be your great grandparent.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So she is a first cousin to your mom and your aunt, right? Because they're the ones who are related, right?
She's not. They're not first cousins. Their parents were first cousins.
Wait, what?
My grandfather and Cosmo's mom's mother are first cousins.
Wait, what?
So my mom and my aunt are not first cousins with Cosmo's mother.
All right. This gets more confusing then, because Cosmo might not be your second cousin. This is how we figure it out. Ready?
Okay.
Okay. I need to figure this out because this is awesome. All right, here it goes. We're gonna figure this out. Wait, what happened? Okay. All right, ready? Where's my let's open up Open Office. Let's just don't tell me cousins or uncles or anything. Let me ask the questions and I'll write it down, and then we'll just put it to the chart. Okay. All right. And we don't have to use names. We could just,
We'll say cousins.
No, we can't say cousins.
We'll say person A.
All right. So this is going to be on your mom's side, though, right?
This is all on my mom's side.
Okay. All right. So you have your mom, your mom.
Your mom.
Okay. Who also had a sister,
She had a sister.
which is your aunt.
My aunt.
Okay. Your aunt. All right.
Or aunt.
Or aunt, whatever. And then, which means, JD, her kids would be your first cousins. That's how that would look. Okay. So that part was easy.
Yes.
Okay. So, they had a mom and dad.
They did have.
Which would be your grandparent.
Correct.
All right. But there's a grandparent mom and a grandparent dad, right? Grandparent dad. Right? But the grandparent mom.
Yes.
That had siblings? Oh, no. No, their siblings would be your mom.
Yeah, no, but the connection goes. It's the connection is grandparent.
It's great grandparent. We have to go back one more.
Yeah, so we have to go to my grandfather's parents.
Wait, your grand? Oh, so it's not your grandmother; it's your grandfather. First link.
Yes, he's the next link. After
So we
my
could
mom.
get rid of your grandmother.
Yeah. Not yet. I love my grandma.
All right. So grandmother. So who is your grandfather? How many kids did your grandfather? How many siblings does your grandfather have?
He has 2.
So there's 3 altogether.
There's 3 altogether.
All right. So it's your grandparent, the dad, and then he had an uncle. I mean, he had a brother and a sister.
He had 2 brothers.
Oh, so okay. So they're all brothers. So far, no girls are here.
My mom and my aunt.
Yeah. All right. So according to this, right?
There's my granduncles.
These would be, yeah, I believe your granduncles, but we'll get to this in a second. These would be your granduncles. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Cosmo is not related to either one of these.
No.
Okay, so that means we're going to move to great grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
Great grandparent, but this is the mommy, right?
What do you mean? It's my. When you say it's the mommy,
Cosmo is related through the great grandmother.
Through his great grandmother, correct?
All right, so we don't. So it's great grandparent mommy. Now because this great grandmother married a guy who is not important to this equation, right?
Yes. Keep going.
Okay. Now that means this great grandparent mom had your grandparent dad and the 2 brothers.
Yes.
So I ask again, who are the kids to the brothers? But if you're saying it goes back further,
it has to go back to the next generation then.
So now
then
it's
one of these.
All right. So now it's
if it's
great
grandfather,
great grandparent, mom or father?
That one
because right now what you're saying is wrong. Earlier,
correct.
Cosmo is not your second cousin at this point. And the reason is because one of these brothers would have to be related to your grandparents.
Well, that's true.
But they're not. And the great grandparent, by related, I mean like sibling, like brothers.
Yes.
Okay. But going back to the great grandparents, I'm assuming, well, the kids they had was your grandfather.
Yeah. So then,
so if it's the great grandparents, how many siblings did your great grandparent mom have? Your great grandmother, whatever.
Great grandmother.
Yeah.
It was just my grandfather and his 2 brothers, so 3. Or you were asking the top, the great.
Yeah, great grandparents.
The 3 greats, I do not know, but I do know that is where. That should be where my grandfather and his first cousin have the link, and that's where they share, because they share the same grandparents. But I don't know.
According to this, though, it's appearing that Cosmo is actually a third cousin.
Which is what I thought I said, but I guess I
thought no, you said second cousin.
Then I am mistaken.
You said it multiple times.
Then I'm mistaken.
But you see why I'm saying like it wasn't making sense based on what you were saying.
Yeah.
But because your great grandparents had siblings, had children.
Yeah.
And those children, one of those children created the lineage of Cosmo.
I think this chart is not working because it doesn't.
What chart?
the one that we were using before. I think that's what confused me.
This chart that we're using right now?
Yeah, because it doesn't have
Let me
where the
see.
connection. It doesn't have the break off where the connection is, and
Let me see.
we ended up. It's the same thing.
Oh, but what connection are you talking about?
I'm saying like the connection.
This is the connection, right? See these grandparents right here, the green? Those would be cousins. These are brothers, I mean. These are brothers. So if your great grandparents had kids, right? That they would be the greens. And they would turn into granduncles and stuff like that. You understand?
Yeah, I didn't mean to zoom in.
And if the brother or sister related to your grandparent,
wait. So here,
it's literally
yeah, no.
the
So
same
this
thing.
is yeah, no. So this is what I was reading this wrong and it got me confused. So this person and this person are this is my grandfather. This is his first cousin. And reading the twice removed thing got me confused because it's all in relation to this. But yeah, no, he's definitely my third cousin.
Yes, he would have to be because we had to go back to a great grandparent.
Yes.
So he's a third. So that's interesting. Now you guys, that's something you could. I taught you something new.
There you did.
That's crazy. It's interesting.
It is.
You could sleep with him.
I could. I bet he snores though.
You could actually sleep with his mother, and that's not weird. You could sleep with what's her face?
Yeah, that'd be weird. Maybe
no, it's saying it wouldn't be.
You know, you're right.
So does that mean? Oh, so that means if Cosmo has children, they would be your third cousins once removed.
Correct.
All right. Now, believe it or not, Cosmo's mother's parent would actually be closer in relationship to you than her.
That's true because she shares the closer link.
They would share they would share the same great grandparents because Cosmo's mother's parent would be a sibling to your great grandparent.
Wait. Say that one more time.
Cosmo's mother's parent would have to be a sibling to your great grandparent. That's how he's you know what I'm saying?
You mean a child?
No, a parent. The great grandparents is how you're related. That's as far as we had to go back. So they had children.
Yes.
Those children are related.
Yes.
They're siblings.
Or cousins.
No, they cannot be. These two people, impossible to be cousins.
You know, these two are siblings. I thought you were saying this level was. I missed.
What are you talking about?
I thought you were saying this level here was all siblings. I was not hearing you properly. And yes, I agree with you.
This is Cosmo.
Yes.
This is Cosmo's mother.
Yes.
This would be Cosmo's parent.
Grandmother. Cosmo's parent is that person that you just pointed in
so
blue.
Who the hell is Cosmo's parent's parent?
That would be the
parent.
Yes, but that would. Yes.
It is also his grandparent.
Yes.
But it is her parent.
Yes.
So why are you telling me no?
Because you said Cosmo's parent twice.
No, I didn't. I said Cosmo's parent's parent.
Then I misheard you.
That's correct, though.
Yes, that is correct.
But you are also correct. But you were saying I was incorrect.
I heard
we can both be correct. You know that.
I already acknowledged that. I heard something different.
Anyway, that would be the person that's related. That would be the cousin.
Yes.
Of your grandparents.
Yes.
Or actually, that would be the sibling. I mean, see this? See how this works? Because these three are related. These are brothers and sisters. Oh, wait, no. I'm sorry. That is the cousin. These are siblings. And then these are siblings. Jesus Christ. Who wrote this chart?
Someone with a lot of time on their hands.
Anyway, so you can't sleep with your niece or nephew, though.
I don't want to.
However, you can sleep with your great grand.
On that note.
Oh, my God.
I gotta go.
Are we done? Yeah, oh, yeah, it's past time. All right, we got to go. Anyway, that's it. Bye.
Have a wonderful time.
Yeah, we did pretty good today. That was good.
That was a good one.
Yeah, all right. We learned that you would sleep with someone you're related to.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.